Hey everyone, and welcome to Living by the Law, the podcast discussing fictional worlds and how wondrous and ridiculous they are. My name is Matt, and I am joined by my co-hosts, Jude and Guy.
Living by the Law is not currently sponsored. If you wish to sponsor us, send your firstborn child away to Scotland. If he returns with magical powers, burn him, for he is in the hands of Satan himself. Whisper your message as you watch the flames burn high. We will hear you. We always do. Huh? What's this? A letter? Huh. Listeners, let me just read this out. Dear listener, we are pleased to inform you that you are in for an episode on Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry from the world of Harry Potter. Feel free to lean back and relax as we go into the fascinating and oddly dangerous school of magic. Sincerely, Living by the Law. Huh, look at that. Heads up! This episode contains spoilers for the Harry Potter books, movies, and games. Enjoy.
What the fuck was the TH on the front of that?
One.
Thwomp. Thwomping through.
I'm getting into like the old man wizardy sort of character because that's what we're looking at today.
We're looking at the old men and all the spells and magic that they do.
Oh, pass me my sorting.
Ooh, pass me my parsnips. I need them for my potions.
Oh, and some garlic.
Garlic, that's for my steak.
Ooh.
This sounds like a pretty fucking dumb meal.
Yes.
I'd parsley and steak
Parsnip.
and garlic.
Parsnip.
Parsnip steak and
Also,
garlic.
parsnips are really fucking good. Parsnip chips. That's the
Yeah.
shit, my dude.
You know what? You know what would have made Harry Potter way better, guy?
Nothing.
Yeah, no, Merlin.
perfect.
Old man Merlin.
I mean,
True.
Merlin is in Harry Potter.
Yeah, but like old man Merlin from Merlin.
That's some good shit right there.
He's a good dude.
He's a good character. He just swears at people. He just tells them to fuck
does.
off. I literally watched an episode
does.
last night where he just bitched at the castle cook because all their shit tastes garbage.
Am I going to have to put a spoiler warning for Merlin the TV show in this episode?
It's not. Oh wow! He tells the chef that he gets the fuck off and that her pies are shit. Spoilerino.
Spoiler.
I know, right? Fuck. it's a
No,
spoiler.
I watched the episode where he inadvertently causes the death of someone important, guy.
Oh, that one. That one does.
Yeah.
That one's an oof.
Yikes.
It's also like there's a bit later where someone's trying to convince someone else.
So Mira's having a fun time. Don't mind her.
She's heard
Oh,
the name.
cute.
She heard the name. Spoiler warning.
Yeah, she heard spoiler warning and just.
She can
Why would
smell-
you spoiler it?
You know, there's like truffle sniffing. No, there's not truffle sniffing dogs. There's truffle sniffing hogs.
Yeah,
There's like drug dogs, all that sort of stuff. This one's a spoiler dog. You can smell a spoiler from
Spoiler
miles.
sniffing
Well,
dog.
that or on her Netflix account, she's been watching Merlin and it's like, oh,
No, fuck off.
yeah.
I'm not up to that yet.
Yeah. She's only up to season 1.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for trying to keep on topic at least, because you might have got from the introduction from Guy and Jude, but today we are going to be talking about
Parsnips.
of parsnips. No,
Oh, I
the
thought
world
it was-
of
Parsnip tongues.
the world of Harry Potter,
I thought
not Merlin.
I thought Guy had Merlin today.
No.
Oh shit, my schedule's wrong. Oops.
I didn't
wouldn't-
write
I-
Merlin in. I haven't done Merlin.
I wouldn't talk about such a shit show.
Roll with it, fucker. Wait,
No, I'm terrified because I'm constantly worried that I fuck up the schedules for these shows. I started at the beginning just because I was bored with the script I was writing, but it's now become a habit where I actively discard the schedule. Whatever the fuck it says I'm doing, I cannot do that. I refuse.
You do muck up the thing every time and it fucks us off. It doesn't matter, Guy. Doesn't matter.
And also the thing is, I complain about you guys putting me into like an off-topic, like starter topic, but you don't know what the fuck I'm going to talk about. So-
Yeah, we just go in and then
the real reason we should derail you so much because they have no fucking clue.
we
just
we
guessing.
can't lead you in because
Unlike
we
last
have no clue what
unlike
leading
last
in.
episode where we didn't even fucking know what the topic was until like halfway through, and you're like, oh, by the way, it's Overwatch.
Hey, I thought it was Mega Man. I was convinced.
I will be clear. what it is from now on. No, you thought it was fucking Bastion for a while there.
Yeah.
I also thought it was Bastion.
Hey,
Anyway.
guy, you say you're going to be clear from now on. Please, don't make promises you can't keep, buddy.
That's
It's not a
true.
promise. I had my fingers crossed underneath the camera frame.
How dare
There you go.
So, back on topic. Today, it is my episode today, so it's going to be a bad one. It'll be nice.
First 10 episodes of this podcast.
Yeah. You
I'm
know,
joking.
if it's my episode, it's either going to be fucking bonkers or it's going to be like 16 parts and I went too fucking deep.
Yeah.
I love that Keys to the Kingdom series.
Nah, yeah.
That's
probably.
our OG shit.
The mini-series.
The audio quality in that's not amazing as well.
Hey, it's always going to be better than... We have a baseline of the Team Fortress 2 episode now,
This is true.
which I recorded through my portable headphone mic.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yep.
Anyway, so
The amount of fucking editing on that shit.
Oh, Jude, we love you.
we do love you, dude. But because I have a lot to get through today, I have to cut you off and let's get started. So, Harry Potter, what is it? What's Harry Potter? You might have heard of it, but you might
One
have
of the
heard of it.
the best-selling book series on the fucking planet.
Yeah.
Nearly up there with the Bible.
But with
You
those
heard of
who have-
Jesus? There's another young boy you should be paying attention to.
With those who haven't heard of it, Harry Potter started as a 7-book-long series of fantasy books written by J.K. Rowling, which follows a young boy named Harry Potter, who discovers he is a wizard. Discovers he is a wizard, and
He discovers he's a widow.
he discovers his husband's dead body.
I didn't know I had a husband.
He's like 11.
Just female? Or just...
That's his quest to avenge his parents and save the wizarding world as he tries to complete school. That's the gist of the books. It explores a magical world that exists on our Earth, but is kept hidden by wizards from non-magical people, or as they call them, muggles, like us. There are many things to explore in this world, and depending on how much people like this episode, I'm happy I will talk about it more in the future. There's a bunch of history, and there's a bunch of weird stuff with magic, especially in the wider world. But depends on what it gets. This episode, we'll be talking about the great and glorious Hogwarts, which is Harry's school in the books, and it's basically the main setting of all the books. It's where most shit takes place. We'll get into Hogwarts. So that's basically the reason why I'm talking about Hogwarts, because it's like an old castle that has like huge history and huge things, and it's really interesting to see basically how a magic school runs in this universe where it's the focus of it.
You just
Not
managed
like-
to get a copy of A History of Hogwarts, didn't you? You're just lying. Hogwarts A History. I fucked up the book title. God
Hogwarts
damn it.
history. I stole it. I went to the library and I stole it.
Speaking of books, I got this really cool one.
The Heroes of Tolkien. Oh, fuck. The Heroes of Tolkien.
It is a detailed.
Get out of here with your Lord of the Rings shit. This is my
it's-
episode. Fuck off.
it's-
Do your own episode. Hey,
Examines the complexities surrounding Tolkien's portrayal of good and evil, analyzing
fucking-
heroes.
I've got another one here as well I'd like to share. It's called The Barefoot Investor.
Oh, awesome!
It starts
did we
off with a
start
very good one, which is schedule a monthly barefoot date night. Money talk is better with garlic and wine.
when did this turn into a book club? And we turned Owen. Let me get my red wine. One sec.
The alpaca attitude. Friends of ours moved to the country and bought a family home on a 2-acre block. They had so much space. I'm trying to wait for one of you to cut me off. This is a
No. You go.
You just want money advice.
So, Guy just started reading an investment book for the podcast.
I assume that we faded to music as soon as I started.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's the whole episode. That was the whole episode just then. Before we start, I just want to point out that Harry Potter has expanded since the first 7 books, right? So it has many spin-off books, games, and even a play, which are all added to the lore over the years. Additionally, there are 8 movies which are set on the books, like adapted from the books, which are sometimes called canon and sometimes not, depending on what they added, to be honest. Moreover, the official Harry Potter website of Pottermore, as well as J.K. Rowling herself, have added to the lore over the years and most of that is considered canon, depending on what she said. To be honest, it is it's strange, and there's so much which is both regarded canon and non-canon. So some of what you hear may be canon and may not, but it's all cool. It's all going to be cool. So, and some people may regard some of the stuff, but I am taking, just to note, I am mostly taking from the official wikis and fan pages. So if the fans are wrong, who's right?
Who gives a shit at that point? If it
Exactly.
doesn't please the fans, then it should not exist.
Additionally,
Well,
from my
I
own
mean,
knowledge of
Game of
reading the
Thrones
books,
season 8's a thing.
Yeah, fair. I mean, I was watching an entire thread on Reddit where someone just didn't get the joke, and everyone's like, "What? There's only 7 seasons. They haven't done the 8th one." Yeah. Someone's like, "What?
So it-
No, the 8th one was there. It sucked though." And they're like, "No, it
No,
doesn't exist. What are you
no,
talking about?"
My
Let's
favorite
do
one's
it.
that there's only 4 seasons, but anyway.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so that's basically Harry Potter. So we're basically going to go off weekend. And I'm also going off, of course, my own beautiful knowledge of Harry Potter, because I love it. I'm not an expert. I have friends who are way more knowledge, but I've done my research. So hopefully I know what I'm talking
Post year 12,
Awesome.
we have a break in Australia called Schoolies. During our Schoolies, myself, Matthew, and another friend of ours, and also Jude later, sat around a table for a couple of hours and just did Harry Potter trivia. So that gives you kind of a baseline of what we're working with.
Trivial Pursuit, to be specific.
It was
about. I'm
trivial.
pretty sure I lost that pretty badly, though.
You did. Holly beat you shitless.
Holly smashed all of us. I'm pretty sure.
Actually, I fucking did excellent because I got all the easy questions, if you remember.
Oh, yeah.
Holly remembered Hermione's fucking middle name. What the hell?
Yeah, it was really dumb. Like, I will say, I know a lot of fandoms. Fucking, Harry Potter is not one of them. I don't know much about Harry Potter. I know a little bit. I know Wavy Stick goes brr.
It does. Wavy stick
And,
does go
and I was getting questions like fucking, what is the name of Harry's second broomstick that he gets given by Sirius? And it's like, I don't know. And then you guys were getting like, what is the character who randomly fucking talks to Malfoy? The Slytherin? Slytherin.
Sylvain!
Get some Doctor Who shit up in here.
What is the actor of the what is the actor's name of the Hufflepuff extra who appears in the background for 3 seconds and
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
fire?
And then Holly's like, I got this, guys.
Crazy.
Also, before we begin, last note, we just want to say as a podcast that we support the trans community, and J.K. Rowling's comments on trans people, specifically about trans women, are fucking bullshit, and do not reflect us or Live by Law. We try and enjoy the Harry Potter universe and try and best remove her from the world and story. She does not, her views and stuff on that, and everything funding her, we try and stay away from that, but basically, fuck J.K. Rowling.
Is a turf safe space. No, not turf space. Oh, no. Oh, no. No.
And podcast cancelled.
Cancelled.
We literally had
cancelled
a
us.
half-hour conversation about this before we
Cancelled.
started recording.
You cancelled us. You fucking, we done.
I've cancelled us.
This is
Turfs get fucked. Get out of here.
That's the end of it. We had
Okay.
18 good episodes and we ended
I
on
had
19.
literally like a 15-minute tirade about how I was going to make this place positive and safe, and I've just destroyed it with a single...
But yeah,
with a single.
yeah. Do you want to go into your rant, guys, still?
No, that's it. That was all. I'm done now. I had a... That was... Fuck this.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, we support all LGBTQ plus people on this podcast, but specifically
As fucking everyone should.
as we should. Yeah, it shouldn't fucking be
It
political.
shouldn't be accepted.
Yeah.
It's not. You don't accept white people. You don't
Exactly.
It's just life. Get the fuck
Yeah.
on with it.
If you don't have you have a problem, don't listen to our fucking podcast.
Get out of here.
Get out of here. Anyway, what is Hogwarts?
What is Hogwarts?
What is Hogwarts? What is it? What is it? Tell me.
You just fake introed
It's-
yourself.
I just have questions here. You think I have answers?
It's a big castle where they teach magic, and there's stone knights who only conveniently appear at the end.
He's right. Okay, now go, guys.
There is a big banquet hall that doesn't have food coming out of nowhere. It gets pulled from the kitchens.
I've got it.
Appreciate
I've
the
Oh,
got it.
fucking gnomes.
I will
Guys,
talk about gnomes.
It's
House elves.
I know they're
elves.
house elves.
It's a massive, unrealistic castle of plot convenience with elf slaves.
If you play the
Yes.
Game Boy Advance one, talk to every single statue. The Game Boy Advanced Chamber of Secrets game, if you talk to all the statues, you get cards, and there's also secret passages in some places. They're very useful to get around the castle because otherwise you have to walk through like 8 different doors.
I'm not even meaning to be like calling shit out in the books, like straight up. The fucking room of requirement, it is literally just a real life fucking plot convenience. The castle gives you a room that you need.
We leave the room requirement out of this shit, okay? Leave the room requirement out of this shit.
Also,
The come and go room will not be stated here. Get out of the come and go room.
a correct opinion that is not often stated. Hufflepuff has the best common room.
I will talk about that actually. Yes, we're talking about
I
that.
know.
So,
As a Hufflepuff for life, that's some
I'll
shit.
admit it. I'm a Slytherin, and I'll admit that the fucking Hufflepuff. have
You
the best
live in
common
the fucking slimy dungeon sewer, boy.
room. At least we
I
get
mean-
like a cool view of the.
I mean-
Ravenclaws live in a library.
we'll
Gryffindor's
talk about
got
it later.
a big fire.
Okay. Let me talk. That's coming up. Okay.
We're 15
Okay,
minutes
so
deep, and we've
Hogwarts-
still managed to delay you pretty hard.
Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry is a British wizarding school located
right.
in the Scottish Highlands. Highlands.
Because it's up in Scotland.
It's up in Scotland.
British. Everyone there's British. Why do I never hear a thick Scottish accent?
I don't know. I can't think historically why you only hear British up in Scotland parts.
Listen, I know I've just stumbled onto something. I don't know what
Hey
the fuck
Jude.
it is.
Hey Jude. Hey Guy. Just gotta quickly save you here. Scots are British.
No,
Where's the fucking accent?
English accents. Yeah.
I'm talking about the accent. I don't give a fuck about the Brits versus the Scots.
England kind of fucked over Scotland a bunch and settled
It was like 1990 at that point, though. Like,
It happened a long time ago.
was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
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 Hey, listen.
In fact,
at
the
least-
time, wait, Matt, what year was Hogwarts meant to be built?
Well, we'll get to that, but technically 990 AD.
Oh, 990. Yeah, it's been there for a while.
It's been there for a while.
Yeah. It would have been there in the multiple British conquests.
Yeah,
Do you reckon
probably.
that they'd be able to get government grants for rebuilding? Like some
Probably.
renos? It's old as fuck.
That's true.
Nah, let's get the one dude without magic to do it all.
Fuck you, Filch. Piece of shit.
Okay. So, Hogwarts accepts magical students mostly from Great Britain and Ireland for enrollment. But it does accept people from outside, but like they rarely go because they have other schools they can go to. It is a state-owned school funded by the Ministry of Magic. So it's a public school. The precise location of Hogwarts could never be uncovered because it is rendered unplottable by spells.
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 and magic.
Spells. But what if you just followed the train track that leads right there?
No, but it's like that thing where it's like you try and draw it on the map and your hand just goes like, whee!
Woo!
That's a thing. Isn't there a thing about that in one of the books? Am I
You
going
can't plot
stupid?
it. No, I think you're right.
Try and draw it
To
on a
mu-
map and it's just like,
To Muggles, the school appears old and abandoned castle, which just makes it more appealing to go check it out, to be honest.
I don't know why that'd stop anyone. I living in suburban Victoria know a person who goes urbexing. So I can only imagine the people who live in more ruined and more interesting areas have more urbexes than us.
Rulebexing. No, it's not
Rulebexing.
urbexing.
Castlebexing.
Rulebexing. Castlebexing in Europe. There's so many, you probably do it.
Yeah, I mean, especially like, sure, the British kind of fucking did a thing to Scotland, but like, by this point in time,
Biggest understatement of the podcast ever.
There's quite a few Scottish people living there. I refuse to believe they'd go, oh no, lad, let's not go into that big abandoned castle. Like,
There's also spells.
spells
There's also
and
spells them
magic.
to stop them from coming close. They get turned around basically.
Speaking of biggest understatements,
yeah, but like, how stubborn is Scotland?
I appreciate Jude's statement just
Spells!
then because I saw a meme this morning which was like everyone like, haha, the Chinese won't acknowledge Tiananmen Square, but then at the same time it's like the Americans like, and then the Indians taught us how to plant corn, and that was all.
Guys, can we not?
Yeah.
Can we not? Like, okay. Anyway, we're back to magic.
You decided to pick a place that's in the
I
real
did
world.
not.
Mine are all in space.
Similarly, most wizarding schools' locations are protected in order to prevent their ways of teaching being revealed, as well as protecting the students in schools to run themselves from any harm. Like for example, they're basically like they want to protect themselves from other schools of magic, so they don't steal their shit.
It's like the secret spice recipe, KFC.
Yeah, exactly.
Secret herbs and spices.
So
The wizards.
Hogwarts is considered one of the finest magical institutes in the wizarding world, although other notable schools include Beauxbatons Academy of Magic in France and Durmstrang Institute, which is implied to be in the northern Europe, so we don't know
I
exactly
like
which
that
country.
the accent slipped. You kept
Thank you.
going with it.
Thank you. And American Illumin. I can't pronounce that. Ilvermorny.
When you
I
can't
believe.
pronounce the American one.
I know, right? I know. I think it's Ilvermorny. Ilvermorny School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, which is in the United States.
Hey, coward. What the fuck is the Australian New Zealand one?
We don't have magic.
You are fucking kidding me.
We don't have magic.
JK,
Well, I think
JK's
I
done
think
us
there
dirty
is.
with this one.
I think there is actually one but it's not notable.
Yes,
I don't give a fuck. I want to know about it. There needs to be one in every country in the world. They've had enough time.
Well, there's not one in
probably-
every country, but there's one in
it's
every
probably
area. I
some
believe there is
shit.
one. I believe if you look at the Vedridge map, there's like one, but there's never been explored. We have no clue what it
It's
is.
probably like one shitty little thing underneath Uluru or something.
Yeah, it's probably in the middle. Because she's like,
Yeah.
oh, where in Australia should we put it? Oh, the middle of the country. Yeah, that's where you'd build a fucking.
But also, like, where
all
else
the
could
kids
you
would
put
die
it?
of heat stroke. All the kids would die.
That's what you'd think, but they got cool. They got cool magic. It's actually
They got
snowing.
cool. It's snowing. Okay, so
It's just a big snow globe.
oh my god. So the
That's
school's
all
motto.
Uluru is.
The school's
That's why I
motto.
don't let you climb it anymore.
Yeah, it's Hogwarts. It's good, not because of like really.
Not because of the
like,
fact that
rights.
it's a holy site to many people
Exactly.
who live
No,
on
no,
this
no,
land,
no,
and
no.
well,
No,
nah, fuck
no,
that.
no.
It's because it's.
Okay, we can't say
Are
that.
you gonna
Fuck.
shut me up at some point? You said you were gonna.
I'll try. It's very hard to shut up. The school motto is Dracano Dramiris Nocrum Titia Danet. Okay, cool. So what it basically means is I can't speak Latin.
Thought you were about to say Spanish.
But it's just not Spanish. It's Latin. Never tickle a sleeping dragon,
Nice.
which is way cooler than anything we have. Hogwarts. A fun fact: Hogwarts was voted as the 36th best Scottish educational establishment in 2008
Oh, God.
from an online ranking. But according to the director of the Independent Schools Network rankings, it was added for fun.
Nice.
That's official. That was in real world. That's yeah. It only got 36 though, which is kind of sad.
There's not that many wizards that are using the internet.
That's true. That's true.
They got their owls.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
Hogwarts School consists largely of Hogwarts Castle and extensive school grounds surrounding it, which include sloping lawns, flower beds, vegetable patches, as well as a loch, or the Black Lake. It also includes a large, dense forest called the Finn Forest, and several greenhouses and outer buildings, as well as a full-size Quidditch pitch. And we'll talk a little bit about Quidditch later. Basically, Quidditch, we won't go into the actual sport because it's too complicated in this episode, but it is a basically magical sport, like soccer on magical brooms. Flying soccer, kind of. I'm just trying to not go into the rules, okay? Because,
There's murder
No.
balls in this game, Matthew.
yeah, okay, we're not talking about it. One of the
don't want to
castle's
acknowledge the
towers.
bludgers?
One of the castle's towers held an owlery, which housed all the owls owned by the school and by the students. The castle is set upon huge rocks above the Black Lake. Its three highest towers are the Astronomy, Ravenclaw, and Gryffindor towers. And the castle has 142 staircases. So you'd have best quads if you were in one of the upper houses.
Yeah.
Yeah, but which are known to change position. So the staircases move, which is really
floors is it?
Sorry,
How many floors is Hogwarts?
7.
7 floors, 142. Okay.
Yeah. That's what I'm getting that knowledge from the video game, going up and down the floor.
Christ.
I think it's 7, maybe 8. The castle was known for many updates and changes in the layout throughout the years. It should be noted that because it's a magical castle, it changes, right? That some rooms in the school tend to move around, just like the steps on the grand staircase. Which is the one that goes up in the middle of the school.
Yeah, I always hated the staircase. Well,
what if you're late
hated,
for
but
class
also-
and the
like,
staircase
it's cool.
moves? Right?
Yeah.
You're late for class, you're trying to get there, and the staircase just fucking fucks you up. What if a kid falls, right? There's like nothing to stop them falling.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like that's something that's not explored. Like, how
There's-
easy would it be to
Okay.
have serious injury from those stairs?
Unless they literally want these kids to die, there's gotta be, like, air,
No.
right? Maybe
Unless they have-
everything's secretly made out of foam.
And that's the other
a
thing
big
that
bouncy
I
castle.
never got as well.
Mm.
In the fucking Battle of Hogwarts, when, they decided to, let's fight in the big open courtyard, why didn't they just go up the steps? Like, imagine trying to fucking fight an army up those steps, which is
That's
just
perfect.
going...
That's bottlenecks. Bottlenecks galore,
Like,
baby.
what the fuck are you gonna do?
Also, you got them painting ghosts that are gonna fuck with you. Then
Because they were just blowing up the castle from the outside, to be fair.
why are you in the
They
courtyard?
were entering. There was this one point where they enter from the top because they just blow up a wall and enter in.
Yeah, but
Right?
you're in the
Then you just
courtyard
patch the
now.
hole,
That's
you
like
got
saying,
magic.
oh no, the artillery strike took out one of our floor walls. We're gonna go into the outside now.
But they can fly up to the top and sit and come in
And
behind
artillery
you.
strike the courtyard.
And
Yeah.
lots of them were still coming in the courtyard, though.
Anyway, it's the
Subpar battle
of Hogwarts.
tactics at the Battle of Hogwarts.
You think J.K. Rowling knows how to make
Yes.
battle tactics?
She fucking should at this point.
She could research.
Well, she does not do research. We've seen.
Oh god.
You think she? Anyway, so we change those, move around as the grand staircase. Albus Dumbledore, the headmaster, the previous headmaster, once noted that even he did not know all the secrets of Hogwarts. The castle had been around for centuries and consequently had a long history of ancient magic inside it.
Nice.
The school has numerous charms and spells on and around it. Basically makes it impossible for muggles to come clear. We talked about that. Additionally, it has spells so witches and wizards can't apparate or disapparate in the Hogwarts ground. Basically, apparate is teleporting to something, disapparating is teleporting away from someplace. So you can't teleport in or out of Hogwarts grounds.
Unless you're like a level 99 wizard.
No, you can't. No. The only time you can do it
Well, fucking Dumbledore does.
in the fucking movie. He doesn't do it in the book.
Okay.
In the movie, he does it, which is dumb because it implies Voldemort could get in because he's on the same level as.
Actually, no. Dumbledore doesn't apparate. He just slaps a phoenix really hard.
No, that's different.
No, he
Phoenix magic's
apparates.
different from apparating.
Is it? I wasn't aware
Yes,
there was
Phoenix-
another time. Okay.
Phoenix magic is not apparate. He didn't apparate then. The Phoenix teleported him.
I was gonna say that was the best scene where he just slaps a phoenix and fucking vanishes. What an absolute exit!
You got to admit, Minister, he's got style. He's got style. But yeah, so you can't apparate in and out of Hogwarts except when the headmaster lifted the enchantment only on some certain areas or the entire campus. But that he needs like permission to do that, and it takes a while. So it didn't happen. I know you're
It's
talking.
got to go through like 6 different offices.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
They do it in one of the books. Do apparition lessons in the Great Hall. It's only in the Great Hall can you actually do it. So if you teleport outside, you get fucked. Like someone actually teleported outside and got fucked like miles off because I think their arm got snapped or some of this shit because you can get squinched in that. But anyway,
Oh, squinched, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's nasty.
Squinching is when you fuck up the teleport and all your bones get rearranged. It's real
yeah.
good.
Well, not all of them, but yeah, it's bad.
All of them, Matthew.
Yeah.
But
So
I
basically
thought it
that-
just made Ron's arm a bit bloody.
I do like the fact
Okay.
that in the book it's like, oh, their arm gets like broken, and then they come out in the movie and it's just like, oh, he has a scratch. He got squinched so bad.
I mean, it's quite a bad scratch that like is pretty major.
but his
yeah,
bones
yeah,
aren't
yeah.
rearranged. I know.
Yeah.
You got a CGI budget, dude. Just get a fucking like sock. They did Harry's boneless arm in the third one.
that was really
Chamber.
well done.
Second.
The second well
Second.
done.
Second one.
Anyway, so Electricity and electronic devices are not found at Hogwarts due to the high levels of magic and Muggle substitutes for magic. Muggle substitutes for magic, such as computers, radar, and electricity, go haywire at Hogwarts. So like most wizards don't use Muggle devices at all because they have something magic and they do the same thing, right? But there are Muggle-born wizards who are like, oh, I'll bring my iPhone, and they bring it and they just get fucked. It just fucks up, right? But the one thing that does work, radios, however, have made an exception to work only when powered by magic, though, not powered by electricity.
So I just
There's
gotta...
magic radios now.
Yeah. So, that is basically the gist of Hogwarts. So now we're going to go into the history of Hogwarts. Do you have any questions about the general of Hogwarts before we start? We'll get more in depth first, so...
Where did the stone men come from?
So the stone men aren't stone men, they're statues, right? There's statues all over the school that were built. And there's an enchantment on the school that if you say a certain words, if the headmaster says certain words and there's their duty is to protect the school. They're there. The statues were actually put in place to protect the school originally. So if the school was ever under attack, they're there to protect it. So that's why I think she says in the movie, I can't remember what she said in the book exactly, but she says, do what you were made to do.
Yeah.
And defend the school.
Our school. Yeah.
Yeah, that thing.
Well, also a question actually, which is a question of mine from the books, but also now is definitely a question. Is there like a... How does this... So you say a lot of things like can be done by the headmaster. Is there actually a requirement to the magic that the headmaster has to do it? Or is it just, oh, you can't do that, only the headmaster's allowed to?
Don't know. It's up in the air. Like this
'Cause
sort of
if
thing.
so,
It's never explored,
How does
right?
the school know that McGonagall's the headmistress at that
Well, exactly. It's never explored, right? And Snape was technically the headmaster, but then Snape was like evicted out of the school, and then McGonagall does it, right? So probably
Is it like
anyone
the
could
Elder
do it
one,
but
where
if you have enough magic.
Where you have to beat the last one in a duel? Because like Snape kills Dumbledore, spoiler,
okay,
and then
fuck. Let's just-
McGonagall.
There's no
We
rule
literally-
into it.
We
Snape.
put a
There's
spoiler
no
warning at the
rule,
start.
okay? There's no rule.
There is no rule.
There's no rule, okay? That's how
There is-
sometimes it's just magic. It's soft magic system, Jude.
There is one rule.
Yes.
Finch has to clean. Why do they put in there? Why do they not give him like anything? They could like enchant a broom or a mop or something for him to work with,
He
but they just
doesn't-
give him normal shit.
But he
I was
doesn't
actually
use like
reading- I
his
was
cleaning's
actually-
not his main job.
What the
I
fuck
was
is his
reading a
main
funny
job?
thing
His
about
main
this.
his main job is to be like a watch over the school to make sure kids aren't out of bed and stuff like that, and to be a caretaker, basically to look like to know when things are out of place and need to be fixed. Because the people who clean the school mostly are house elves.
Oh, yeah.
They clean the school mostly. His job is to make sure things are in place and things aren't broken and fix those sort of things.
Where do the house elves sleep?
They don't.
Ever.
Why?
They're not allowed to.
They're probably in the kitchens. They probably have rooms there.
They probably got
In
like
the
a crate
kitchen?
to sleep in.
I have
In
a
the
big old-
oven.
I sleep in the pot.
I don't know.
You go there
there-
after hours and they're all just like crashed out on the fucking stew pots.
Okay.
And stuff.
If I'm Muggle-born and I have like an
I'm on
auntie or an
page
uncle,
2 out of 10, by the way, and we're on half an hour in.
fuck you.
Cool.
Okay, if I'm Muggle-born and I get a house elf, from like an auntie or an uncle or some shit like that, from a long.
Why would you wouldn't be Muggle-born then?
No,
Why'd you get a
I'm
house elf?
I'm Muggle-born, but then like I have a relative who's the only one left.
Then
and
you're not. Then you're
I'm
not
giving a
Muggle-born.
hypothetical because house elves are only belonging to long-time magical families. I'm giving you a hypothetical.
Okay, we're not talking about house elves in this podcast. So well,
If
we
the
want-
house elf comes to my house, will he know how to operate the oven?
he can learn.
No, he fucking can't. He's a magical creature.
he
Apparently, it's all
fucking
going to
can.
go haywire.
He
Is he going to
can.
know how
Well,
to
no,
record
no,
things
no.
on Foxtel for
No,
me?
no, no. Magical people can use magical. It's just because Hogwarts has so much magic in it, it kills them.
Then why is the radio? Can I charge my fucking iPhone with the eye stick, with the
Sure, I don't
wizard
know.
stick, and then I can
I don't fucking know.
TikTok from Gryffindor.
The most information we know is from the 90s. They don't have iPhones like that.
maybe
Anyway,
TikTok
Man,
a little.
TikTok would really fuck up Hogwarts, wouldn't it?
Hogwarts was founded around 1990 AD by four of the greatest witches and wizards of the age: Godric Gryffindor, Helga Hufflepuff, Raven Ravenclaw, and Salazar Slytherin.
Well, 3 of them.
They each,
I don't know about that Hufflepuff.
she was just there.
I'll fucking kill you.
They each represent an aspect of the personality they wanted to bring out in new students. However, shortly after the school was founded, Slytherin had a falling out with the other houses about blood purity, and wanted to only admit pure blood students, believing them to be the best. He felt that pure blood students deserve to learn magic, and those of other ancestry, such as Muggleborns, Half-Blood, didn't. The other three founders disagreed, especially Gryffindor, who, admittedly, at the time was his best friend. They were best friends, so it's kind of like a bad falling out. So Slytherin left the school, not before secretly building the Chamber of Secrets, and putting a basilisk in there. He foretold that only his heir would be able to open it, and once they arrived at the school, his heir would be able to unleash the massive basilisk living inside and purge the school of Muggle-born students. Yeah, so Slytherin wasn't the greatest of guys.
No.
But that doesn't mean Slytherin are bad people. I'm a Slytherin, and I don't think I'm bad.
I mean, yeah.
I don't think I'm bad. I think I'm
Acknowledge your heritage, coward.
Yeah, he's bad. He's a bad guy, okay?
It does always amuse me, though, how there's just, the one house which is, oh yeah, this is the bad guy house.
Yeah, we get a bunch of shit in the books.
Yeah.
Not a single Slytherin stays in the Battle of Hogwarts. And there are Slytherins who come back with, what's fucking Dumbledore's brother's name? Albus Dumbledore?
Oh, Aberforth.
Aberforth. Albus is his name. Aberforth. Yeah. And there are Slytherins who come back and fight with him, but that's it. Who do the comeback to hell.
Yeah, and then in the movies, they just get sent to the dungeons and they're locked away down there.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. I mean, it's much smarter, though. If you wouldn't send them to the reinforcements, because a lot of them would fight with their parents and stuff like that, because they're in the
It's kind
but
of
anyway,
a topic.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so that's the origin of the school. They made it, and they had
could
cool
have used
stuff.
them as protection.
So basically,
Heat shield.
The Slytherin Death Eaters aren't going to blow up the castle wall if their kids are strapped to it.
okay, that's
Crab and
fucking
Goyle
dumb.
are pretty thick. You could use them as a good
They
mix.
are. They definitely are.
Oh, well.
Harry should have fucking meat shielded with
Did you hear what happened to the actor that played Crab?
I don't think I want to know, do I?
So the reason Crab was in the last movie is because I think the last few movies is because he got arrested for owning a homemade bomb that he was planning to use. Crab was a fucking terrorist.
Oh.
Real Slytherin hours.
Yeah, right. He got a bit too far into character, to be honest.
Jesus fucking
He did.
Christ.
Yeah.
Man, method actors just goes too far sometimes.
Separate the real person from the fiction.
Yeah, exactly. But they had so Gryffindor said, "I'll only take the pure." This is like where the Sworn Hat said, "There's purest." Gryffindor will only take the purest of heart. And Ravenclaw said, "I'll only take the most intelligent people." And Slytherin said, "I'll only take the people of pure blood." And I don't know how the other founders didn't see the warning signs there. and then Hufflepuff said, "I'll take the rest." That's legit a quote from the book. She said, "I'll take anyone else who doesn't fit those 4 categories." Which is just so nice, but also feels bad.
It's friendship and camaraderie, my man.
Yeah. Okay, so about 300 years after the school was founded, the Triwizard Tournament was established as a interscholastic competition between 3 of the most prestigious magical schools in Europe: Hogwarts, Beauxbaton, and Durmstrang. This tournament was considered the best way for wizards and witches of different nationalities to meet and socialize. The tournament continued for 6 centuries until the death toll became too high.
Christ.
and the tournament was discontinued until 1994, where it was brought up again. Yeah, so that's basically that. The existence of the school was threatened twice when the Chamber of Secrets were opened. First time was in 1942 when Tom Marvolo Riddle, the heir of Slytherin, opened the Chamber of Secrets in his 5th year. A girl, Myrtle Warren, was killed, and the Ministry of Magic threatened to close the school. As Riddle spent his time away from Hogwarts in a Muggle orphanage, he did not want the school to close. So he framed Rubius Hagrid, although Hagrid was expelled and Riddle got off without punishment. And it wasn't discovered. It wasn't discovered till much later that he was the culprit.
Bastard.
However, in 1992, the chamber was reopened, and it was discovered that Hagrid was innocent and Riddle was guilty. Then, so we're going to go back a little bit from 1992. But anyway, throughout the entirety of the First Wizarding War, which started the First Wizarding War.
The what?
The First Wizarding War.
What the fuck?
Yeah, we're not going to go into it, but we're just going to go.
You're just going to brush over that?
Yeah.
That's like saying to an alien who's landed, and then during World War One, what? Pardon? Excuse me? I'd like to know more about this, please.
No,
Which
my
lasted
favorite
for
my
11
favorite ones, like a time traveler being around in 1920s and going, man,
One
it's
or
good
two.
you survived World War One. World War One? What?
Yeah. The First Wizarding War, which lasted for 11 long years and caused a lot of distress among students and Hogwarts. The Hogwarts Castle was perhaps the only safe place in Britain due to the presence of Dumbledore, Albus Dumbledore. Dumbledore had risen to the post of headmaster recently, and was the only one who the starter of the First Wizarding War, Voldemort, was afraid of. During the war, a student. So this is an interesting part because this isn't in the books or the movies. This is from one of the video games that is technically canon. During the war, the First Wizarding War, a student named Jacob was searching. So this is about. Was searching the school for secrets for the secret cursed vaults, which are said to hold magical treasures older than the school itself. He eventually managed to find one, but released a curse that trapped the entire castle in a wall of ice.
Nice.
This was eventually fixed when he managed to get into the vault itself, and return the castle returned to normal. And to prevent further students from searching for more vaults, they promoted the fact that this was a myth, which everyone, even Jacob's mother, eventually believed.
Jacob
So they basically used a lot of propaganda to basically say that's a myth. Don't search for them. Ah, what a joke.
They
That's why
fucking gaslit everyone.
Yeah, that's why you don't hear about them in the books and stuff, because they just made it like a myth. Yeah. So the entire school was trapped in ice at one point, and then like 20 years later, they're like, oh yeah, no, that's a myth. That never happened.
Nothing.
I mean, there was a war going on at the same time, so they can kind of like ignore it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. It's
Anyway.
like in the middle of World War II, if a fucking bomb factory exploded, it's like, oh,
Yeah, but it's Hogwarts with all the kids inside. But yeah.
yeah.
So, this is where the books. So the books start in 1991. The Philosopher's Stone was kept in the castle and protected by a lot of magical charms and puzzles. Unfortunately, it was nearly stolen by a professor. Sorry.
What have you done?
So it's Professor Quirrell, but in my notes I must have misspelled it. It says Professor Squirrel.
Nice.
So when I'm reading my notes, I just see Professor Squirrel. The Professor, sorry, who was possessed by Voldemort.
Why is that the joke that kills us?
Who was possessed by Voldemort?
It's a squirrel with the professor hat on.
But was stopped before he could get the Philosopher's Stone. In 1992, the Chamber of Secrets was opened, as we talked about, but fortunately, no one was killed this time. But a few kids were paralyzed. But
Well, I don't know about that. Someone died.
no,
A fragment of Voldemort.
that's not someone. a poor snake died.
Exactly.
In
Lives were lost.
1993, Hogwarts was put under high alert after a prisoner escaped from a magical prison. The school was still, even with the school was still broken into by the said prisoner, and further security was heightened further. Eventually, that was basically kept up till the end of the year.
Nice.
Yeah, well, I'm going over the history like it's a history book more than touring of the stories. Because,
If listeners that haven't read or watched Harry Potter haven't figured out yet, this year by year event of This thing endangered the students. This thing endangered the students. This is just each of the books.
This thing endangered Harry Potter. This thing endangered Harry Potter. In 1994, the Hogwarts played host to the infamous Triwizard Tournament. This time with more powerful safety measures to put in place, so the death toll wasn't too high.
But no one died, right? It was fine. It was totally safe.
It had been many years since the last tournament was held, but in the light of advanced security measures, the tournament was deemed safe with quotation marks by the Ministry of Magic.
Harry just got really competitive, fucking Avada Kedavra, my man, and then grabbed the cup. Was like, oh no, Voldemort's here.
Oh no! Unfortunately, due to interference by Voldemort and a Death Eater,
So he says.
tragically, Cedric Diggory was killed.
Question though.
That is the saddest point in all the movies.
Absolute lie! Are you shitting me?
What? What's
Dobby's
sadder than
death.
that?
End of number 2.
It's not even that sad.
It is. Harry
okay.
sitting over the grave of a small innocent
That's
creature.
not even that sad. But Cedric's dad coming and being like, "My boy, my son." That makes me fucking.
He's
cry
a
every
fucking
time.
round man. He makes me laugh.
That makes me cry.
Question.
Question. Yes.
Hello?
Yeah, we're looking for you for the
waiting,
question.
Waiting for the question.
So, does in the book or anything, because it gets played off as, oh, Voldemort's not back, he's not real,
Yeah.
what are you talking about?
Yeah.
How do they justify Cedric's death?
Oh, they say it was an accident. It was an because the Triwizard Tournament is full of accidents, right? People dying in history. So they said, oh, it was a terrible accident. He died. But yeah, you think they'd have someone who could look at the body and say that was a killing curse?
Yeah, where's the Ministry
autopsy?
of Magic
Where's the
autopsy team?
Everyone just looks at Harry and he just looks at his feet. Well, you'll see.
Give me the
I mean, you
autopsy.
I'm pretty sure you can look at wands. There's a spell you can use to look at wands and see what the last few spells were cast by it.
Yeah, you can. That's the thing that's happening.
Yeah, so you could tell he didn't fucking cast this killing curse.
Well, I'd imagine also if they cared enough, there'd probably be a spell that could tell what the last few spells cast on a body were.
yeah, probably. Fuck.
It's the
okay.
same thing. It's just one's a snake.
In 1995, the Ministry of Magic started to interfere at Hogwarts, believing there was bad things going on there, implementing the educational degrees. Dolores Umbridge was instated as Defense Against Art teacher to watch of the school, to evaluate the school for the Ministry of Magic. She was then raised to High Inquisitor to improve her role there, and then eventually to headmistress. Eventually, due to many factors, Umbridge was then removed from Hogwarts, and Dumbledore was reinstated.
Ousted.
Yeah, I don't want to get into it. I'm just saying, as a history book, they wouldn't really go into it.
Do you not want to go into the firework dragon?
Yeah, the Ministry wouldn't say they're wrong in their history books, would they?
Fuckers.
Throughout 1996 and 1997, the school years, the Ministry of Magic, the new Minister for Magic, Rufus Scrimgeour, ordered auras to guard Hogwarts for protection against dark forces, along with the castle's defenses being fortified in many ways. Throughout the year, students were taken out of school by their families for safety and fear reasons, while 2 students were dangerously harmed, Katie Bell and Ronald Weasley, which only served to increase the anxiety in the atmosphere. In 1990, I mean, that's an average year for Hogwarts. 2 people getting. That's good. That's a good year. That's a good year.
Two people nearly died.
Yeah, what a great year we have.
Yeah.
There was a thing, I was watching a streamer the other day, and he was making a joke about, like, what if there was a supermarket, and there was everything was like 80% off, 90% off, but there's just a big fucking troll that's sitting there, and every hour or so, it would pick someone to eat them. It's like 1,000 people that go in every hour because the prices are really good. So you're like 1 in 1,000, and the prices are really good, but you might get eaten. Would you go there? That's going to Hogwarts.
That's going to Hogwarts.
Statistically, it's good education, good price, excellent teachers, excellent grounds, excellent facilities. No, precisely. It's super precisely. It's amazing. But you might get eaten.
You might get eaten.
You might get fucking eaten.
In 1997, near the ending of the year, Hogwarts was attacked by a mob of Death Eaters. As a result, Headmaster's safety was compromised, and he was killed by Severus Snape. following this horrible tragedy,
Safety was compromised.
Safety was compromised.
he was compromised.
So compromised.
The
fuck?
Following this horrible tragedy, Professor Minerva McGonagall, Minerva was appointed acting headmistress, though the security of the school hung by a thread. There was no certainty that Hogwarts would remain open, and they agreed to establish the heads of houses agreed to establish procedures and let the school's governors decide what to do. Many parents rushed their children home after this, fearing that even Hogwarts was no longer the safest location in the Wizarding world.
I mean, when you've got a famous wizard who's like renowned as being the most powerful dude around, who single-handedly keeps the school safe, and he gets killed like that.
I understand that. However,
you maybe bring your kids home.
I will point out that there have been some formidable threats in the past that were just sort of ignored.
Yeah, but come on.
Troll in the dungeons. Someone's taken over one of the teachers. Someone's taken over one of the teachers.
Hey, as we've established, Hogwarts is a great propaganda
Pixies hung
machine.
me from a chandelier.
Hogwarts has a great
Mum, can I
propaganda
please
machine.
not go to Hogwarts this year? I know I've got my Remember All. I don't want to go anymore.
Hogwarts has great propaganda machine. They can just wash it under the rug. It's just like, oh yeah, that never happened.
False
We all know
history.
this.
Holy shit.
Holy
Hogwarts
shit.
is problematic.
I think you like a modified memory, but either way.
So, regardless of the school governor's decision, with the takeover of the ministry by Voldemort, attendance at Hogwarts was made mandatory for all eligible children. New militaristic requirements were established, such as requiring students proof of blood status.
Oh, Christ.
This enabled this is Salazar Slytherin's wet dream. This enabled Voldemort to keep an eye on the entire wizarding population from a young age and identify Muggleborns, including 11-year-old children who had no knowledge of their magical nature before their forced identification. Such youngsters face the possibility of never entering Hogwarts nor returning to their homes ever again.
Nice!
So this is just that was I took that line in particular just straight off the wiki. That is like so ominous of not saying they fucking got bit the dust.
Come and stay in
They never went
Neverland,
to-
Peter. You never
They
have
never
to
went to
leave.
Hogwarts, and they never went home. They fucking died.
You never have to leave Neverland, Peter. Uh-oh.
God. Or they're doing what the American administration is doing and locking kids up.
Hey,
in cages. Whoa, sorry, I won't get into that.
Not our place.
Uh,
Australians and New Zealanders, man.
Yeah, sorry.
It is oof.
Academic instructions at Hogwarts became corrupted. Muggle studies became a requirement, and instructions took a new tack, anti-Muggle bias, while Defense Against Dark Arts became the Dark Arts, teaching the Dark Arts. Students were taught illegal curses outright, and older students were instructed to practice curses on younger class members.
Break them in, you know.
Yeah, as well as detentions were being like dummies in classes. Snape's. Oh my god, dude, stop.
Well, I mean, in their defense, if little
In their
Timmy
defense,
Of the Dark
got,
Arts?
if little
in their
if little,
defense,
if little Timmy got a detention for breaking a rule, and he gets the Cruciatus curse cast on him for an hour, I don't think he's gonna put a toe out line for the rest of his schooling career. To be fair,
Jude
Jude supports corporal punishment in school.
Exactly, Jude. You heard it here first. Jude wants to bring back the cane, bring back the whip. So want to whip those kids into shape.
I mean, do I agree with the cane? No. Do I think there would have been some less shitheads in school if there was the
Okay,
cane? Maybe.
I appreciate
Maybe.
that point.
So the Cruciatus curse though is like top pain. That's like pain, unimaginable pain though.
Hey man, you ever seen Caravan of Courage? Not Caravan. Is it Caravan of Courage with Hamish and Andy? They go to like
Yeah.
South America somewhere, and Andy gets a whole bunch of fire ants on his hand, and he
Yeah.
literally passes out from the pain. And we all laughed at it, and then he got McDonald's afterwards.
Yeah, but he chose to do that.
So what you're saying is if a
He
little
chose to
kid
do
got
that.
Cruciatus curse cast on them, it'd be like, haha, funny.
No, it's you guys are
And
horrible.
then you go buy a Macca's
Anyway,
afterwards.
Snape was appointed the headmaster, blah 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 blah. Apparently, it was a great time of terror, which no one knew who was friend or foe. In May of 1998, the Battle of Hogwarts took place. As one of its infamous alumni, Tom Riddle, better known as Lord Voldemort at this point in time, returned to attack the school and subdue or destroy its defenders. Voldemort claimed he had no desire to harm the school or its students, but he and his Death Eaters would spare no one who opposed them and recklessly damaged the school during their assault. Heathens.
We will not hurt you if you come with us and put these nice chains on, please.
Numerous students, staff, parents, graduates, and friends of Hogwarts arose to the school's defense in their hour of need, including many people. I'm not going to go in them. I wrote a list.
R.I.P.
At this point, in the school grounds, Lord Voldemort was destroyed and his Death Eaters disbanded, and McGonagall became the official headmistress of the school.
McGobble gobble.
McGobble gobble.
Do you reckon she can
Minerva
transform into a
McGonagall?
turkey during Thanksgiving? She does the cat most of the time.
Hogwarts sustained extensive damage during the battle. Multiple areas of the main building and adjacent areas were caught on fire or blown up, and the Quidditch pitch was largely destroyed by fire. Because one thing Death Eaters hate, it's recreational sports.
Hey, also, I appreciate, like, oh no, the pitch got destroyed by fire. What the fuck is there to destroy? Like, the stands?
Yeah, like
the
the
Quidditch
stands
pitch
that
is like some sticks in a field. It's like saying, oh no, the soccer pitch got burnt down. It's like, the fuck
But it's
got
not though,
burnt
because
down? It's grass.
the stands are like 100 meters tall and they surround the thing. They're like
That's
hard
fine.
to build.
You don't need them to play the game. You can still play
yeah,
a
but no one
fat
can
game of
watch.
Quidditch.
Then no one can watch.
How? Okay.
Watch from the
question.
ground.
You
It's
like the
say
main-
they're like.
That's
say-
dangerous.
So
You
is
say they're
fucking
like
fighting in the
this
Battle of
big.
Hogwarts, my dude. At this point, I don't think they give a shit.
Hang on. You say that they're hard to build, these 100-meter high fucking wooden platforms. Dude, they have magic. They can just fucking wave their wand and it just
Reparo.
happens.
That's not how magic works. but sure.
Reparo.
That's not how magic.
Also,
Grant-
I did have this question, but I skipped over it because I forgot it. How the fuck did the four of them build the castle?
Magic.
Magic.
Why the fuck can't they build a 100-meter high fucking stand?
Thing made out of wooden cloth. I think they'll
It's
be
1,000 years later, man. They've got better magic now. They upgraded their firmware.
Well,
And they've
actually,
got a
they
lot
don't.
more than
Actually,
four
they
people.
don't. So that's a key thing in the magical universe. Is like, you know, our technology's upgrade, but magic actually doesn't because they have all the things they really need. So magic actually adapts at a very slow rate because they're like, well, we don't fucking need shit. What do you mean? We got magic.
You're telling me that there's no one out there who's like,
Oh,
I'm going to
there are
experiment with spells and make them better.
But not many. There are people, but not many.
There doesn't need to be many. It's 1,000 years, dude. 1,000 years ago, we were living in castle. Now I got a fucking iPhone.
Anyway. So that's the history. That's the history of Hogwarts up to about the end of the 90s. So early 2000s where it starts. We don't really have much after that.
And then the cursed child happens.
Yeah, no, we don't talk about that shit.
It's a good show.
No. So now we're going to talk about a typical school year. So admission and recruitment. So admission to Hogwarts is selective. You do not have to come. They don't force you to come to Hogwarts. Although Harry was forced pretty hard. But
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, they don't force you, but like a million owls will come to your house and Hagrid himself will bash down
that's
your
because they
door.
didn't respond. To be fair, in that children who show magical abilities,
lighthouse.
children who show magical abilities will automatically gain a place. And unfortunately, squibs cannot attend Hogwarts as students. Squibs are people born of magical parents who do not have magic.
Is there anything they can do about that? Because there was squibs at one point. Oh no, I'm thinking about beasts. We don't talk about beasts. There's just nothing.
There aren't squibs. Well, there's one of the books. Filch, like, it has like a how to learn the magic for basics because he's a squib, right?
Yeah.
But he has like a thing that like, and he's trying to learn magic, but it's pretty much acknowledged that those are kind of scams and you can't.
Yeah.
You got to accept who you are.
Okay. But they're still allowed to fuck around in the magic community, yeah?
Yeah. Well, they know of magic.
That'd be kind of useful.
They're not gonna throw them on
but
the
imagine
street.
living a normal life, but you've got like wizard pals. It's like, hey,
Yeah, that's true.
I need a house. Can you
Isn't
just
that-
fucking warp me one right there?
Isn't that like the lady?
I'll get
that
you the
finds
latest
Harry and
iPhone if
Dudley?
you want me a house.
Matt, isn't that the lady that like finds Harry and Dudley after the Dementor
Yeah,
attack?
she's a squib.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's just living a normal life.
Yeah, she can live.
her.
You can live,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Mrs. Norris. No, that's the cat.
Yeah, no, I appreciate living the
Yeah,
normal
well,
life,
that's
but
the
like,
cat.
Well done.
if I'm working my job as a software engineer and then I have a mate who can just fucking warp, I'll be like, hey, do I really have to pay for plane tickets, man? You got those boots? Can I get that
Mrs.
shit?
Fig. Mrs. Fig.
Mrs.
Fig.
Mrs. Fig.
Can I get one of
Yeah.
those boots? I need like, is there one for Japan at some point? Like,
Anyway.
it's gotta be cheaper than the fucking air flights right now. Jesus, COVID
Anyway,
got me dirty.
Oh, do you think wizards spread COVID from using port keys and apparatus?
Do not speak of this. I bet
Oh,
they
no.
have to sanitize their port keys in between each flight.
Yeah, I bet they have to. It'd be really hard to lock them down with fucking apparating.
Also, how the fuck do those Cedric and his dad just like walk out of the sky? Everyone else is just like dead, and then Cedric and his
Because
dad.
they've
is
done
like,
it before.
Yep,
They've-
I've gotten off a
called
plane
training.
before. What?
It's called training. You can like train yourself to be able to do that.
It's like how the first time you fly internationally, you get hit really hard by jet lag and shit, but after you do it a few more times, you get a bit more
Okay,
used to
I was
it.
gonna say after I get out of a taxi the first time, I didn't fucking face plant on the pavement. I could
It's
just
not a taxi though. It's a bit more extreme. Anyway,
magic, man. Why the fuck don't they
so-
make it comfortable?
I know what you're wondering. I know what you're wondering. How does the magical system know who's magic and who's not? Right? How do they detect the people who are Muggle-born? Right? So
Yeah,
I'll tell
that's
you.
definitely what I was
good question.
wondering.
I know, right? A magical quill at Hogwarts detects the birth of any magical children
Quill?
and writes their name down on a large parchment and books. So they have all your names.
The CIA wants to know your fucking location, dude.
And they know your exact location. They know your name and location exactly. But there is no admission test. You are either magical or you're not.
Nice.
Every year, a teacher checks the books and sends a letter to the children who are turning 11. So basically, has all the magical children written in it with a exact location. Like for example, they had like Harry's had what was it, something Pivot Drive under the room under the stairs, right? Exactly knew where he lived.
Huh.
What if you saw like Annalise Johnson at 5 Downing Street, or whatever the fuck it is? It's like, ooh.
Cool. Send the mail. Anyway,
Well, the
Eric
pri-
and Bar-
doesn't the Prime Minister like know about?
Oh yeah, Prime
Yes,
Minister
the
and the
Pri-
Magic Prime Minister know about each other, and the fucking
Yeah.
the Prime Minister hates the Magic Prime Minister because he keeps fucking warping out of his fireplace for no reason. He's like, stop it.
well, yeah. Well, there
I
is
feel like
reasons, but he
Boris
doesn't
would
wanna
love that though. He'd just
Boris
be
is sitting behind his
sitting
desk
there.
and clap.
He's the only real Muggle, like supposed Muggle that's supposed to be able to know is the Muggle Prime Minister that we know that like actual knows about because they want to keep him updated on what shit's going on.
And also like Muggle-born families.
Yeah,
There's plenty of Muggles that know about it.
yeah.
Real surprising that none of them have gotten out about it.
Yeah, I mean,
If
okay.
you went out, that's the whole thing. The whole thing was like there's a line in there where they tells the Prime Minister and like why has no one warned me about this? Why has no one of my previous Prime Ministers
Well,
told me about
I do
you?
have a problem with this.
And they're like, okay,
I have a problem
Okay,
with this because that's the thing with prime ministers in England, especially. They have limited terms. I mean, most world leaders, but
yeah,
they have
but,
such
like,
limited
that's the thing they
terms,
said.
right? How does this work? You know, how's
Memory wipe. It's a fucking memory wipe, my dude. They're fucking men in black.
One, they can memory wipe, but also they say like if you went out and are you gonna tell anyone? He said, and then he's like, no, I'm fucking not because I'll sound crazy. It's the exact
Yeah,
same
that's
thing.
fair.
If you went and told people there's magicians, you'd sound crazy. That's what he says. He
There's
says,
a, okay.
why has no one told me about this? And you're like, well, are you
Actually,
gonna tell
no.
anyone?
There's
It's
a
like,
You make
difference
a
between
good
walking
point.
down the beach.
because if you think about it, prime ministers are politicians. Is a politician going to come out and say something that they know no one will believe and will just make them a fucking laughing stock to all the press?
Exactly.
They want to save face.
Counterpoint. All of the Muggle-born families know about it. They have nothing to lose, and they have fucking proof. Beyond that, there's a difference between like, oh, I was walking down the beach and a guy asked me for the time and I told him the time, and when I turned around to tell him my watch is actually slow, he'd gone. Like, between that versus my son is a fucking wizard and he can cast fireball.
Was that when we were at
Yeah, we were at fucking Phillip Island, yeah.
That was weird. That was
funny
super
as.
strange.
We got visited by
I
Poseidon.
angered Poseidon, it was very good. Actually,
That
no,
was so strange. That was so strange. So, by the way, guys, we were walking through Phillip Island, and we like this guy. He asked you the time, and we told him the time, and then we turned around.
he's in a
and he
full
just was
wetsuit.
gone.
He's like, okay, good, and then
And then me and another...
Literally, we turned around like 10 seconds later, and he was
and then
gone.
me and another
Like,
one of
completely gone
me
off
and
the
another
beach.
one of our mates straight up ran behind us and saw no fucking footprints. We're like, I hate this.
There was no one there. Like no footprints, nothing.
everyone
He was
tried to
gone.
convince me it was Poseidon. I said, fuck you, Poseidon. I kicked the ocean. Everyone tried to tell me to stop, despite the fact that we're all science nerds. Apparently, we're all superstitious, which I think is very
are we
funny.
all science nerds?
To a degree.
We believe in basic things like vaccines.
Don't you assume this, man? You don't know what I do.
Anyway, back to Hogwarts.
Can I also say I got halfway through typing UK Prime Minister into Google before I remembered it. Shows you how in touch I am.
Acceptance or refusal letters at Hogwarts must be posted by the 31st of July. So you must send a letter and post if you got it or not. The letter also contains a list of supplies like spell books, uniforms, and other things that students will need. Because that's the one thing you have to pay for, is your equipment.
Hey, question. Harry has the list of supplies in the letter,
Yeah.
and he has Hagrid
Yeah.
to help him buy them. Do the
Yeah.
Muggleborns just get a list of like, interesting.
So I'll get to that. I'll get to that. Also, students who don't have to pay tuition fee because the British government pay for them. We talk about that. Additionally, students who can't afford their devices, Hogwarts will pay for them. So they're really poor. Like for example, Tom Riddle was an orphan, didn't have any money, and Hogwarts were like, okay, cool, we'll give you some money to buy shit.
Devices? Supplies?
Like supplies, whatever you need for school, whatever it is.
How much does a one cost in real dollars?
I think there's some sort of translation out there, but I'm not going into it. The prospective student is expected to buy all necessary materials, normally from the shops in Diagon Alley,
Diagon Alley.
a concealed street in London.
$175.
Yeah,
Harry's Holly and Phoenix core wand cost $175, which is equal to 7 galleons. The fucking exchange rate's boot, man.
yeah. Okay, let me finish.
No.
Letters to Muggleborn witches and wizards is what you asked, who may not be aware of their powers and be unfamiliar with the concealed wizarding world, are delivered in person by a member of Hogwarts staff, who then explains to the parents or guardians about magical society and reassures them them regarding the news. So they explain what they're going to have to do, where they're going to have to go, how they're going to have to do
I
it.
appreciate.
Right.
I think I want to add on just a little touch from me here. Not that I don't have much to contribute about Harry Potter, that I think is kind of cool to think about with the staff visiting them. It's like a big thing. Well, it's a subtle thing, I guess, more in the books, but like it never gets mentioned in the movies as much. That the kids do have things of magic starting to appear and be a thing before the letter arrives. So, like imagine how confused the Muggle families would be like.
Yeah. So, like, for example, like Harry, who's running away from bullies, he jumped to just jump up something, and he ends up jumping onto the roof by accident. Like Harry's hair, whenever he got it cut, it would just grow back to the rough stuff he has. Like it wouldn't be cut. Harry he makes the glass disappear in the snake enclosure, which is both
and then
both the
reseals
book
it.
and the movie. Well, he doesn't. He only reseals it in the movie. He doesn't reseal it in the book. But yeah. So that's kind of things they can say. Whereas like things he can't explain. That's what Hagrid in the movie will say. You ever done anything that you can't explain?
Why is he Irish now?
That's the least
Where's
Hagrid
Hagrid
voice
from?
I've ever heard.
Where's Hagrid from?
You're
a wizard. You're a wizard. That's actually really good. Yeah, that's actually really good.
I know it
That's
is.
good.
That's better than
Sounds
yours.
sound like John Wick as well. Why does Hagrid sound like John Wick?
Oh no!
Yeah. Oh no! Someone killed.
I've
his...
never watched John Wick, so I don't know.
It's John Wick, except
gonna
they
kill
killed
you,
his
Harry.
spider rather than his dog.
I'm gonna kill you.
I did murder a spider before this recording.
I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you. Sorry.
So it's a question though. So like, okay, most obvious Muggle-born we know in the books / movies, Hermione, right? Do we
Yeah.
know what staff member came to her house?
I believe maybe it's mentioned, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
Also,
someone.
my question still stands. Is it just like, okay, go to the... Sorry, I know it's like, oh, weird shit's been happening around my son. But the next logical step of like, oh, this old lady came to my house and told me to run at a wall in King Street Station.
Yeah.
Are
Do
you
it.
sure?
Well, they're
Also,
probably-
platform 9 3/4, does it have an exit other than the wall?
So in real life, platform 9 3/4 doesn't exist the same way in the movie, in the book.
Fucking guess that.
But no, it doesn't. But
Did
I
you
think I'm
just
pretty
say
sure it's
in
just-
real life platform 9
No,
and
no.
3/4?
So 9 3/4, is it like in Diagon Alley somewhere? Is it
No.
connected to anything, or is it just
No.
like that is the one exit? Because I have an issue with this. Because in the books and movies, you see people walking from one end of the train past the other end, past the wall, which means that they're not going out of the wall; they're coming from somewhere else. Is
Hey,
there a snack shop
hey.
at platform 9 3/4? Does it have good shit?
Hey, I don't fucking know. Okay, we're talking about Hogwarts,
Guy,
not 9 fucking
It's the
quarters.
trolley
Okay,
lady's shop.
Trolley lady is a fucking demon.
Trolley lady is
I'm not
actually a
even-
demon. I'm very
She's
aware
actually a
of this.
demon. That's crazy. Anyway,
But also,
Back-
no,
no,
back
fuck
to
off.
my
No,
point.
No, fuck off. I'm going about Hogwarts. Fuck off. Let us to Muggle witches and wizards, blah 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 blah. No, the kind of person we covered that. While most wizards and witches in Britain were educated at Hogwarts, they are not obligated to attend if they do not wish to, which we talked about. Some people are noted that they want to home educate their kids or have sent them abroad. Each student is allowed to bring an owl, or a cat, or a toad.
Which would you bring?
As a pet?
Unless you're Harry Potter's son.
Yeah, fuck Harry Potter's son. Along with the
Oi,
acceptance letter.
No,
first
sorry,
letter-
sorry.
no.
Jude's gonna ask questions.
Which would you bring?
An owl. I'm not a fucking idiot.
Owl, toad, or a rat?
I'm bringing an owl.
Cat.
I'm bringing an owl.
Cat.
Cat.
There's no rats.
Someone's
Ron broke the rules.
Ron's got a rat.
Yeah, but like,
Ron broke the rules.
I don't know.
Ron broke the
They
rules,
just
it's
kind of
valid.
went, oh, okay, you've got a rat.
Sure. What?
Okay.
Okay. Anyway,
I'm gonna bring a. What the fuck's the point of a toad, though? I guess it's
we'll
cheaper
get-
than an owl.
We'll also get to that later. Why?
I'll wait until you explain what the fuck the point of a toad is.
Okay, that's like ages. That's like the end of it. But
God.
still, anyway, along with
I'm
the
waiting.
acceptance letter, the first year students are sent a list of equipment, as we talked about, which includes a wand, subject books, a set of size 2 cauldron, a set of brass scales, a set of subject books, a set of glass crystal files, a kit of basic potion ingredients, and a telescope. The Hogwarts uniform consists of a plain work robe in black and a plain black hat, a pair of protective gloves, and a black winter coat with silver fastenings. Each uniform must contain the wearer's name tag, or you die. The first year students are not allowed a broomstick on their own, but through exception, for exactly, Harry, he's a bitch, he gets every exception. Because he demonstrated being a good seeker, he can bring one. But he didn't bring one there, he got one. But most students can't have a broomstick, first year students, because they're not cool enough.
A size 2 cauldron is 1.25 gallons, or 10 inch by 10 inch.
This is why we keep-
20 pounds of cast iron. What the fuck?
This is why we keep you around. Just put it in your backpack. Just put it in your backpack. Just...
So you really fucking understand why a lot of people would hate Harry, don't you? Like that
Fucking
kid.
Harry, Demon hates him.
That kid that just gets away
He's
with
that kid.
everything. They get every
Okay,
exception.
next time. Next thing, train ride. So the primary mode of transport to Hogwarts, primary mode, key thing, is the Hogwarts Express. That students, other ones are car. You can't know. Students take at the start of the year, each school year. Students board the train from the hidden platform 9 3/4 at King's Cross Station in London. The train arrives at Hogwarts sometime after nightfall. From there, first year students are accompanied by the Keeper of the Keys, or the Keeper of the Keys game and grounds, the groundskeeper basically, which is at this point in time, Rubius Hagrid, in small boats, which sail across the lake to the entrance of Hogwarts. Which it's believed that the boats aren't done by magic, because Hagrid has no magic. It's believed they are actually pulled by the giant squid across the lake.
Hey, what the fuck?
So that's what the giant squid, because everything pretty much on squid exists for a reason. So the reason the squid is there is to pull kids across the lake, because there's in the point one there's eight boats, which makes sense for a squid to pull them all across. Additionally, I think it was like 6 or 8, one of the two. But additionally, there's a time where someone falls into the lake and he gets picked out of the lake by a giant arm and put back in his boat. Additionally, instead of Hagrid doing a spell, he says "Go," which is like a indication that he's talking to an animal, right?
Yes.
Makes sense.
How many students are there at Hogwarts?
Good question. There's approximately about 4 to 5 to 6 in each house in each year. So depending on which house, so that's about 24 for each year, and there's 7 years. So
That's not many. What the fuck?
there
I thought there
isn't
was
many.
way more than that.
no, there isn't actually that many.
That's wild. Because I was just searching up the capacity of the Hogwarts Express, but it was only giving me the one at Universal Orlando.
There isn't actually that many kids at Hogwarts.
But
That's
there's
the thing.
168 passengers.
Because if you think
That's
about
actually
it,
about right.
Yeah, if you think about it, there's Harry, Ron, Dean, Neville, and Seamus in their year.
Yes. Yeah, okay. I felt like there were more.
Not in their year, though. There's also that one guy who appears in one scene in the movie. I can't remember what his name is.
Many students at Hogwarts. J.K. Rowling notes that there are 1,000 students at Hogwarts, which divided equally across 7 years
Bullshit.
equals 143 students a year.
Bullshit. Fucking bullshit. That's bullshit, and she's
From
wrong.
Cosmopolitan.
She's wrong.
Cosmo,
She's
the
wrong.
sex
She's
magazine,
wrong.
has told me.
She's just thank you. She's wrong. Anyway,
How many
so
kids are at Hogwarts?
the older students are not the first years. Ride the Hogwarts
40 in each year, according
in
to Philosopher's
carriages.
Stone, 10 for each house. 40 a year in the Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So the older students are ride to the castle in carriages pulled by creatures called Thestrals.
Nice.
Skeleton horses, basically.
Would you?
Sorting in the houses. When the first year students arrive at the castle, they wait in a small chamber off the side of the Great Hall until the older students have taken their seats, and then they enter the Great Hall for the sorting ceremony. So, the sorting is a very important ceremony because this is a quote, by the way. A very important ceremony. While you are here, your house will be something like your family within Hogwarts. You will have classes with the rest of your house. You will sleep in your house dormitory. You'll spend your free time with in your house common room. So it's your family.
Question.
Yep.
At this point, because this is the thing I've always wondered. With the sorting ceremony, they make it out in the first. Okay, maybe this is just me being dumb and having watched the movies a lot more than I've read the books. But in the first movie, it's almost like the other Weasleys are almost a little bit worried that Ron's not going to get put in Gryffindor. Like, they're pretty sure. And, like, when Ginny gets into Gryffindor, it's like, oh, well done, you got into Gryffindor. Is it not guaranteed that you'll be in the same house as your
It is not
siblings?
guaranteed that you'll be in the same house. It usually runs in the family, and it
Okay.
does take in your preferences. But for example, Harry's son, all Harry's kids, his youngest son is put in Slytherin. So I'm talking about cursed child here, but still, it does happen.
good
And
shit.
also, there's the twins. There's twins. One's in Gryffindor in the books. One's in Gryffindor. One's in
Pavati and
Ravenclaw.
Padma?
Yeah, you're right. Padma Patil. and
Yeah.
Florence. Yeah. So one's.
Oh, is that the two that they take to the
Yes,
trials?
and one of them in the movie is in the fucking Gryffindor common room. What is she doing in there? She shouldn't be allowed in there. What are you doing?
Harry and Ron go
Get her out
into the
of there.
Slytherin one.
Yeah, but they had to go.
They
through
were
what
they
to
were
get in there.
not in they were in disguise. But anyway, okay. So after the Sorting Hat sings a song, usually different each year.
Oh,
It
right.
prepares it all year. Each student in turn is seated on top of the stool in front of the entire school. And the hat is placed on top of the student's head, whereas examines its brain and assigns them to one of the 4 houses based on abilities, personality, and preferences. Hogwarts is divided into 4 houses, each bearing the last name of its founder. So Godric Gryffindor being Gryffindor, Salazar Slytherin, Ruin Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, right? As you'd expect. throughout this.
I think this is the point in time where we need to say which houses we got sorted
I think
into by the quiz.
Matt and I already have.
Maybe you've done.
You've loosely said
I
it.
am
but,
a
like,
Slytherin.
I am Hufflepuff.
I am a Ravenclaw.
Fuck Gryffindor, man.
Gryffindor,
Yeah, fuck Gryffindor.
get out of here with that mainstream shit.
No normies here.
Throughout the school year, the houses, we respect all houses here. We do not.
We do not respect all houses. Gryffindor, get fucked.
No, fuck Gryffindor.
The house is complete. This is made to you by all other houses, gang. Gaining.
Made by the Hey We Exist Here.
Exactly.
Gryffindor's
right.
so mainstream.
So throughout the year, the houses compete for the House Cup, gaining and losing points based on their actions such as performance in class and rule violation. These can only be awarded and taken away by teachers, right? The house with the highest total at the end of the year, with its colours displayed gets its colours displayed in the Great Hall, as well as they win the cup. They win the big cup. So basically, how they rank them, they get points, right? And in the Great Hall all the time, they have like 4 giant cylinders, glass cylinders, and they fill them up with their respective gems. So Ravenclaw has like sapphires, Gryffindor has rubies, Slytherin has emeralds, and I think Hufflepuff has topazes or something like that.
Yeah,
Topazes. Yeah. So that's how they all fill them up. Topai. I love Topai.
I love Topai.
You really got to get your feet out of the pastry.
Yeah, I know, right? Bloody Hufflepuff with their feet in pastry. Each house also has its own Quidditch team, which competes for the Quidditch Cup. These two competitions breed rivalry between the houses. Houses of Hogwarts are living and learning communities for their own students. So each house is under the authority of one Hogwarts staff member. These are called heads of houses, and they're in charge of giving their students important information, dealing with matters of severe punishment, and responding to emergencies in their house, among other things. Each year, year-level groups of each separate house share the same dormitory and classes. The dormitory and the common room of the houses bearing rare expectations are inaccessible to students belonging to other houses. That's what I'm saying. What was she fucking doing in there? What was she doing in there?
I mean, it's just a password. It's like the password at our old
It's
high
illegal.
school. There was a password on the Wi-Fi for like the unrestricted Wi-Fi. And it was like, ooh, what's it gonna be? It's so sick. Like everyone knew the password. Everyone knew the password.
Admittedly restricted password that did disappear after year 7 and year 8. But yeah, that was that time, and it was really funny.
I want to get into the Hufflepuff room and just
Anyway.
steal some good food.
You are in Hufflepuff.
I know.
Yeah. Anyway,
I mean, you can steal some
so,
good shit off of
in the-
Hufflepuff that isn't food, I'm sure.
in the early days, they have all the plants. In the early days of Hogwarts, the 4 founders handpicked the students for each house. Well, she talked about what they wanted before, right? In each
They
person.
did like a round robin or what?
They got to pick which ones they wanted. When the founders worried how students would be selected after their death, Godric Gryffindor took off his hat and added all their knowledge into it, allowing the sorting hat to choose the students by judging each person's quality and placing them in the appropriate house.
Wait. The hat has the knowledge of all 4 founders?
Yep.
That's a very powerful magical relic.
Yep. And they just keep it on the fucking shelf, collecting dust.
And it speaks sort of like my goof Halloween character, doesn't it?
No, it's the house.
Mr. Bones.
No, don't bring back Mr. Bones.
Also,
The
Spooksmeister.
Spooksmeister. Ah.
Mr. Bones.
I'm just going back to D&D.
Anyway, Mr. Spooksmeister's hidden away till next
student's
Halloween.
choice-
He's sleeping.
Get back in the closet,
Students-
Mr. Spooksmeister.
No, don't put me back in there.
Yeah, so now we'll talk about each house and like what they represent, right? Gryffindor, worst house, values courage, bravery, nerve, and chivalry. Gryffindor's mascot is a lion, and its colors are... actually, I'd like to do... What are Gryffindor's colors?
Yellow, gold. Gold, red. Yellow and red.
Yellow, gold.
Yellow, gold, and red. Golden, red,
No,
yellow.
it's just red and gold, you're right. Maroon and gold ties.
Fuck off. It's red and gold.
Scarlet red, actually.
Shut up.
The house ghost of Gryffindor is...
Mealy Headless Nick.
Thank you. or Sir Nick. And so the Gryffindor common room is in the castle's highest tower, and its entrance is on the 7th floor at the east end. So there you go, 7th floor, highest floor. The east wing, I remember from the game correctly. The east wing is guarded by a painting of the Fat Lady. She permits entry to anyone who guesses the correct password. Anyone, including people who are not in the house and murderers, because she's done that before.
Nice. Well, she got murdered once, to be fair.
She also did that. Hufflepuff values what, guy?
Friendship. Camaraderie. Oh,
Nope.
Hufflepuff, yeah?
There's 4 things here I'm looking for, and you haven't named either of them.
Selflessness. I don't know.
Potato.
What you got one? So, no.
Tell me what the fuck they officially say.
Hufflepuff's values hard work, patience, justice, and loyalty.
Maybe I shouldn't be in this house.
I'm gonna say, you sure you are?
That's what I keep getting put in. I think it's literally just loyalty.
The house mascot.
Because all of the
is a-
questions are like, hey, your friend's in a fight. Would you stand up and fight with them? Try and find a way to talk your way out of the situation. Sneak up behind the bully. Just deck them.
Deck them. Easy. So, what the house mascot of Hufflepuff is?
The badger.
Yep, and the colors are...
Yellow.
And...
White, I think?
Plus a B.
Black. Oh, yeah, yellow and black.
Yellow and black. They're basically Richmond. The two football
Fuck.
team.
God, no.
You ruined a Ravenclaw forever.
And their house ghost is...
I don't know. Fat Friar?
Yes?
Yes.
Cool. The entrance to the Hufflepuff dormitories and common room is concealed by a pile of large barrels in an alcove in the corridor that holds the kitchen.
Nice.
Of course it is.
To enter, one must tap the barrel 2 from the bottom in the middle of the second row, to the rhythm of Helga Hufflepuff. Yeah, Helga Hufflepuff. Unlike other houses, Hufflepuff Common Room has a repelling device that douses the illegal entrant in vinegar if the wrong lid is tapped or the rhythm is wrong.
I kind of like
Yeah.
that.
The Hufflepuff Common Room.
Not gonna lie, not even from a Hufflepuff, just from a music perspective, I really want to have like a lock into my house that requires you to tap a particular rhythm, and if you fuck it up, you get bathed in vinegar.
I think I can rig that up. I got my Raspberry Pi kit here.
Get some vinegar. I got the vinegar.
I've
We
got
this.
switches. And I'm
Hey,
not
guys,
joking. I
come-
genuinely
come-
think I could make that.
Okay.
Hey guys, come round to my house. Do we have to, Jude? Can we do someone else's house this time? Oh,
Yeah,
that's fun, though.
I'll get the time wrong every fucking time. the Hufflepuff Common Room is filled with yellow hangings and fat armchairs.
Fat fucking armchairs.
And it has little tunnels leading to the dormitories, all of which have perfectly round doors like barrel tops.
It's a hobbit house.
It's basically a hobbit house, and it's filled with weed. Wait, sorry, I didn't know
A
that.
hole in a ground. Not
Constantly
some nasty hole.
constantly
filled with worms.
hotboxed.
Yeah. Oh, God.
What's in that fire? You got those good logs?
Here's where Jude comes in. Ravenclaw values.
Intelligence?
Intelligence.
That's one of them.
And,
Forward thinkingness? Planning?
yeah, I think it's something to do with planning, isn't there? Or-
Can you? Okay, do you want me to do it?
They're always
Take
bullshit.
care of that.
Just tell us.
Ravenclaw values
Good
intelligence,
marks.
Intelligence, learning, wisdom, and wit.
Wit.
The house mascot
Yeah.
for Ravenclaw is
Raven. Bird.
incorrect.
Not a raven.
It's not a raven.
He thought.
My life's been
It's
a lie.
not a raven. The house mascot Ravenclaw is. It's not a raven.
Isn't it like an
crow?
owl?
No, it's not an owl.
It's a bird.
It's a bird. That's correct.
Albatross.
What is it?
It's an eagle.
Fuck.
Is
It's an eagle.
No,
It's an
fucking
eagle.
way.
Look it up. The house mascot for Ravenclaw is an eagle, and the house colors are.
Blue.
Blue and kind of a yellowy kind of golden.
Yeah, what's
colour.
that called?
I
Gold.
fucking know. Gold or
Bronze.
some shit.
Bronze.
Oh, bronze. Okay, close enough.
Bronze.
That is not a fucking eagle.
It is
Get
an
out
eagle.
of here.
It is.
That is
It's
not
an
an
eagle.
eagle.
It's an eagle.
No way. That
And
is not what eagles
The house
look
ghost
like.
for Ravenclaw is.
The lady's daughter person.
I
forget
mean,
her
you're
name.
right, but she's called the Grey Lady. Yeah.
The Grey Lady, that's it. Yeah, I knew she had
So
an
the
edgy name, I
dormitories
just
in the
remember what it is.
Ravenclaw Tower are at the west end of Hogwarts. The common room is round and filled with blue hangings and armchairs, as well as a domed ceiling painted with stars, and features a statue of Raven wearing her diadem. A logical riddle must be solved to gain entry, indicating that it may be easier for those students from other houses who pose higher degree of intelligence to enter the common room than others.
Okay, you know what I'm going to say about Ravenclaw? I think by the books, it is definitely an eagle, but I think every piece of movie-based imagery has turned it into a raven, because looking online, the classic black bird image that is just the image that we associate with Ravenclaw because of the movie imagery, hands down, that's a raven. That is not a fucking eagle.
But you're wrong.
But the images that I'm seeing that look like they're more book art, that is definitely an eagle, 100%.
Yeah, I think we had a huge problem of the people just didn't fucking read. They saw the name and they're, it's a raven. No, it's a fucking eagle.
Or maybe they deliberately made the decision of making it a raven because they thought it'd be like, I don't know.
No, an eagle is much cooler than a raven.
I agree. I would agree.
Anyway, so Slytherin, my house, values ambition, cunning, leadership,
You, Matt, did like to slither in.
leadership and resourcefulness. Shut up.
Leadership?
Leadership and resourcefulness.
Since when's the rogue been the leader of the party?
All the time.
Never.
The house mascot of Slytherin is a serpent, and the house colors are green and silver. Throughout the series until the 7th book, blah, 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 blah. Oh, sorry. The house.
Of course, Slytherin being leadership. That explains why Matt had every leadership role in high school and
I know, right?
schools all the
Fuck,
time.
yeah. The ghost of Slytherin is the Bloody Baron.
Ah, that's who it was. He leads the headless hunt.
No,
Doesn't
he doesn't.
No? Oh my god,
That's some
no!
motherfucker. No, he doesn't. He's the guy with big chains whose Peeves is scared of.
Oh yeah, I remember.
So the Slytherin dormitories and common room are reached by speaking a password to a patch of bare stone wall in the dungeons, which causes a hidden door to open.
You have to get past the troll first.
Exactly. The Slytherin common room. Yeah, but if that's easy for Slytherin.
It's the troll that eats someone every hour.
the Slytherin common room is a long, low dungeon-style room under the Hogwarts lake, furnished with green lamps, carved armchairs, is decorated with a greenish glow. It also the best
Fuckers in
place...
Slytherin be like, are we the bad guys?
Who the heck?
I know
It
that
also-
I know that our common room looks exactly like a villain's lair, but are we the villains?
It also
No,
has
it's you know that meme of the British dude like, are we the baddies?
Yes.
yeah, that's this joke. That's what he's talking about.
Who the fuck is
But
that?
also,
Who the fuck?
we also additionally Slytherin would be the best place to play D&D. Let's be honest. Slytherin common room. It is the best place to play D&D.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
The Sorting Hat claims that blood purity is a factor in selecting Slytherins, although this is not mentioned until the 5th book. There is no reason to believe, however, that Muggle-born students are not sorted there, merely that pureblood students are more desirable in that house. As there are several examples of half-blood in the house in the books, and there's a quote from one of the Slytherin people, quote, "Not many mudbloods are sorted into Slytherin," which implies there are some.
Just the really nasty ones.
They're not. They gets a bad rap. Slytherin's fine. Everyone gives it a bad rap.
Okay.
You're wrong.
Okay.
After the sorting ceremony, students.
Can't hear you from the dungeon.
Can't hear you over the sound of my crunchy pies.
After the sorting ceremony, the student and teachers enjoy a feast prepared by the Hogwarts house elves. If Dumbledore is feeling cheerful, he will lead the students in singing the school song. After dinner, the students are led up to their common room by a prefect. This is a special time for new students to get comfortable with their surroundings because the next day classes begin, and classes schedules are handed out during breakfast of the next day by their heads of houses. So, a normal daily routine for Hogwarts students. The day will begin at 7:30 a.m.
Yo,
with
what the
breakfast
fuck?
in the Great Hall. During breakfast, the male.
Yeah, guy, you ain't got a whole.
No, actually, to be fair, it's one of those annoying things where it's like in the length of my memory, I remember a time upon which I did rise before, like 11.
I know, right? God.
Not anymore. I had to get up at 7:45 this morning to go get my car to the mechanics, and it was a struggle.
Wow.
Nice. Anyway, so during breakfast, the mail arrives by hours. A bell chimes signaling the start of the first class at 9 a.m. A bell chimes again in 1 hour to signal the start of the next class.
The owl's enchanted?
No, they're just owls.
Well, then why they've got feathers and bird shit.
Yeah.
They're going over breakfast.
The hall's enchanted.
The food's enchanted?
Yes.
You sure about
there
that?
Shut up.
It's poo resistant.
There are two class periods before lunch scheduled according to house.
How long are they?
An hour.
Okay. 2 hours of work. Jesus. Not much.
After lunch, there is another break. There's another break and 2 more classes.
So wait. Breakfast, 2 hours. Lunch.
There's six classes a day.
But breakfast, 2 hours, and then lunch.
Yeah, it's an early lunch.
It's a really fucking early lunch. If I'm having breakfast at 7:30, that means lunch is at 9:30.
No.
At
breakfast,
Breakfast, they probably
starts-
got like
so
well over.
So
an
breakfast
hour.
starts at 7:30. The classes start at 9:30. So lunch starts at
11:30 is still a very early lunch.
No, 9. So class start at 9. So
11's an earlier lunch.
It's an early lunch, but then you also
That's
have
a bad lunch.
You also have a break at like 1.
Do you get
1
food,
as
or do you have to suffer until dinner?
whatever. There's also another break where you get more food.
Okay, good. That's what I was asking.
It's probably like an afternoon. It's like an afternoon tea. Cool. Keep going.
You sure it's not morning tea then?
No,
lunch?
they
'Cause
say
that would line up a lot
particularly they
more.
say lunch. So I don't know, but maybe it's different. But
Maybe.
there is 2 distinct breaks.
Listen,
okay?
we had a dig at
Do you
we had
think-
a dig at J.K. Rowling for not investigating battle strategies. We can have a bigger dig at her for not knowing a fucking lunch schedule.
Yeah.
Do you think she knows about second breakfast?
She knows
She actually does. She scheduled it in.
scheduled second breakfast for the wizards.
She scheduled luncheon.
if there is heavy snowstorms in between periods, certain lessons that take place outside could be cancelled, since it'd be difficult for students to transverse the castle outside.
Oh no, we're wizards. We know how to do all these magical spells, but we can't beat fucking snow.
Yeah. Dinner.
It's like Gandalf.
Dinner-
If you wanted someone that can change the weather, find yourself another.
I don't need you to change the weather. I just need a snow umbrella.
Dinner was served in the Great Hall towards the evening, after which the students are expected to be in their house common rooms for studying and socializing. There are astronomy classes at night on Wednesdays every week, so usually at midnight. So that fucks up their schedule a little bit, but the students had to be in bed or in the common rooms by a certain time, except if they have astronomy. After which it is called after hours, and the times are different for each year. For example, 5th years are allowed at the halls till 9 p.m., but earlier years it's different. It's different for each year, right? Yes. So the rest of the year, that's the start of the year. For the rest of the year, there is after 2 weeks of classes, the Quidditch team trials and flying lessons occur. So the Quidditch team trials for everyone, and the flying lessons for the first years occur. So homework are usually assigned to students at the end of class or at the end of the school term. If a student fails to complete the homework or is late at handing it in, they can give it a detention as a punishment. Detention is given on case-by-case basis for what the student has done. For example, writing lines, helping out a teacher, or cleaning trophies, maybe something for a small error like speaking in class, something like that. Whereas being sent into the Forbidden Forest at night could be for big errors such as being out of their house at night. Yeah.
It's so because there's one of those things where sure, Hogwarts is dangerous as fuck, but also a lot of the time you kind of can't. It's not necessarily them doing the dumb thing; things just attack the school. But the detention of sending kids into the dark forest is so just
Yeah, not the smartest.
Hey,
punishment.
are there toilets in the dorms?
What?
They what?
Are there toilets in the dorms?
Presumably. They never really.
They better be.
But we don't
They
know.
never in most novels. They never go. Oh yes, and Harry went to the toilet.
No, I don't need to know that they went to the toilet. I just know that there are toilets in Hogwarts.
There are
on certain
toilets
floors.
because like they refer to them going into male toilets at some toilets, and there's also the toilet
Yes,
on
but
the
those are outside of their dorms.
Yeah, I assume there's a toilet in the dorm.
At 2 in the morning. And
I
need to
assume
piss.
there is one in the dorm. I assume there is. Okay,
Well, Guy, you've got a window.
Actually, there's
It's out the
barrels
window.
right outside the dorm.
it puts in the barrels. There's a piss barrel in
Piss barrel.
Hufflepuff.
They're all piss barrels.
So Slytherin's
It's not
kinda-
vinegar,
'cause-
it's
okay,
piss.
Gryffindor, Gryffindor can pee out of the windows in the tower. Hufflepuff can use the barrels. Ravenclaw can. I
Also
don't know.
piss out the window. They're
library.
also in the tower.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there you go.
Piss
Slytherin.
right into the lake,
Well, no, listen. What they
directly in. The lake is Slytherin piss.
Well, I mean, no, because originally
Yeah.
Slytherin was like blue because under the lake it was all nice and blue, so all the lights
Yeah.
were nice and blue and stuff like that.
now it's piss.
It's the lamps, just piss coated. The entire room,
Green.
and to the dungeon vibe. Entire room's coated in piss. Fuck you, Slytherin. That's what you
Okay,
deserve.
so detentions can be given by prefects as well as teachers, by the way.
Nice.
Hogwarts school year is structured in a similar way to non-magical schools and colleges in the UK, with a three-term year punctuated by holidays at Christmas, Easter, and bounded by a long summer holiday of 9 weeks. I didn't know that. I've discovered this
fun.
information.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Trimesters.
that was my childhood.
Yes, trimesters. Students had the option of staying at Hogwarts at the winter and spring holidays. Those who choose to stay in the castles during the Christmas holiday do not have any lessons and attend a feast on Christmas Day. Students also do not have classes in the Easter break, but it'd be less enjoyable because the amount of work assigned because examinations are coming up.
Do you? Can I stay over summer?
No,
Why not?
because there's no one at Hogwarts.
What if my family is dead?
You get sent back to the orphanage. I'm not even joking. Tom Riddle is an orphan. He gets sent back to the orphanage.
Oh yeah,
for
because he
summer.
begs to stay at Hogwarts.
Yeah.
I remember that.
He's like, surely I can stay, right? I can help out a teacher or something. I can just stay. I'll stay.
Nah, fam.
Fuck, get back to that fucking orphanage. They
Christ.
literally do
Imagine.
that.
Oh no, it'd be even so bad because like think about going back to the orphanage and all the kids are like, "Ha, your cool house didn't work out for you." No, I swear they're taking me back in a few
going
weeks.
back to
sure
magic
they
school.
are. Oh, yeah. He'd end up in an insane asylum. Sure.
Well, yeah, that's why he's Voldemort.
No.
Anyway.
He's a fucking criminal when they pick him up.
That's true. He's a fucking horrible person. Anyway, he's also a kid. Other
Yeah,
other
kid,
than the
horrible
breaks
person.
and weekends, students do not
Same
receive
thing.
holiday. Students do not receive holidays. However, students third years and above are allowed to visit Hogsmeade, the local village, occasionally.
Nice.
There are normally 4 feasts per year: start of the year feast, end of term feast, and the feast at Halloween and Christmas, unless there's special occasions to another one. The Quidditch season usually starts with the first Quidditch match in the first few weeks of November. In the second week of December, the Deputy House takes those names of the people staying over the Christmas break. I'm just naming things now. The first term usually ends about a week before Christmas, and most of the students and teachers go home by the school train. There you go. And in the Triwizard Tournament years, the Yule Ball occurs on the evening of Christmas Day, ending at midnight. So yeah, that's when the Triwizard Tournament is on. It's not very often.
How mandatory are a lot of events at Hogwarts? It's like you have to go to bed at this hour. You have to go to this thing. You have to.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not experienced with boarding schools. What if like I don't want to go to the ball?
Oh, you don't think you have to go to the ball? The ball's optional.
Okay.
There are many things that are optional. Like, you don't have to go to the feast, but also where you're not going to get dinner. You're just not going to get dinner stuff.
Fucker, I'll get the house elves to send me a personal food.
I think that's how it works, for sure.
It's Hermione's like, oh, rats for house elves. I appreciate and approve of that. I'm getting friends with the house elves so I can get some sick meals.
Uber Eats, but it's elves. Elf Eats.
Bet you they'd cook up a sweet fucking pizza.
Oh, yeah.
Do you reckon they know different cuisines? Can I get fucking Indian from these guys? Or is it just like, old feast, big hog?
I'm pretty sure they do different stuff. You could, if you asked, if you requested. So the final exams are held in the first week of June, and the results came out in the second week, which is really unrealistic.
That's really
to be
good.
I know, right? That's a really unrealistic.
I mean, they do have magic. They can probably just like
That's
correct.
really
We
unrealistic.
have technology. Kids in
And we
Victoria
still
wait until
take-
December 30th to get their results this year.
I mean, to be
Yeah,
fair,
but,
that's for normal years. If you're waiting for your like official years and those years where you get like the good results, like ATAR,
good
you have
results.
to wait. You have to wait quite a while. You have to wait quite a few months because the government's slow, but the school's not. You know.
Right, fair enough.
Yeah, because bear in mind that it's like you can't compare it to like VC
Yeah.
exams because VC is an entire state and then they have to link up with a lot of other things, whereas Hogwarts is like
A couple hundred people.
1,000 kids.
Still gonna bully
Hey,
them
we're not-
about it.
In the evening before the Hogwarts Express went back to London, the end of term feast is held, as we talked about. The Hogwarts Express returns to London during the third week of June. Some staff and all students left Hogwarts, so you're not allowed to stay. You bastard! You can't
Does
stay.
no one... Who is there?
staff.
Somebody's
Some
gotta fucking be there.
Some staff, probably like Dumbledore stays. 'cause he
Dumbledore will
fucking
live there.
lives
Filch will probably live there.
Yeah,
All the ghosts, obviously, aren't
all
going.
the ghosts will still be there.
Who else? Like Hagrid, maybe? Take care of the grounds
Yeah.
and stuff?
Exactly, like Hagrid's
God,
staying.
imagine
Okay.
that fucking feast. Dumbledore, Hagrid, and Filch just fucking vibing it out over a card game.
That'd be so fun.
Just go fish.
It's one of those things where, like, there's really mean teachers, but when you see them, like, in an out-of-teaching context or out-of-school context, they're actually fine. Like, I remember my Year 3 teacher was well known as being, like, the worst teacher, but I had her as a teacher, and she was fine. She was chill. She was really cool. So you reckon Filch just vibe?
Surely.
Having a drink with Hagrid and stuff? Guys.
I reckon, yeah.
Okay.
He'd be sitting there with Mrs. Norris. Hagrid
Fuck
would be
yeah,
giving Mrs.
dude.
Norris a little scratch. He loves
Hagrid
that.
and Dumbledore's having a chuckle.
Just look at, no, and Slughorn's there and they're just getting fucking wasted.
God,
They're
yes!
getting wasted.
Yes.
Yes! And the trolley witch is serving them dinner.
Yeah.
Damn.
Especially as it's like the years before Slughorn joins the school, he'd be like Dumbledore's dodgy mate that he invites school at the end of the night, and he'd show up like, "Hey."
Christ.
There's always that
He's like,
one
Dumbledore,
that's the
I'm
friend
not,
of the host.
I'm not coming, Dumbledore. I'm not coming. We're getting on the piss. I'm coming, Dumbledore.
Yeah, the one friend that rocks up to like 2 hours late to the party when everyone's already drunk, but they bring like 3 bottles of fucking rum with them.
Okay, administration and teachers. So we'll just quickly jump through the teachers. There's a headmaster who is basically the chief administrator of the school. They do everything basically, all the major decisions regarding safety and day-to-day function of the school. So it's fucking Dumbledore's fault people are dying. He doesn't close the school down soon enough. The powers the powers to override decisions made by any other administrative faculty at the school, and possibly with possibly exception of the board of governors. Okay, there's the deputy, who's basically the deputy headmaster. They do deputy stuff. If they step in the headmaster stuff if they need it. Basically, there's the head of houses who we talked about earlier, who look after people in the house and they do that kind of roles. Support staff. There's the caretaker, who looks after the school, basically tells when there's something needs fixing and stuff like that. There's the healer, so the person who looks after people who heal. The fact that the school needs an actual full-time healer is kind of worrying, but still.
Normal schools have nurses.
Yeah, we have nurses, but like healer.
Okay,
Breaking bones?
okay. The worst that a student has at like high school
They have a
is like,
hospital wing. A hospital
hey,
wing.
the worst that we have at our school was like AFL and like books. That's it. At Hogwarts, it's flying broomstick death match and literal
Explosive
devices
spells.
that can kill you. It's like the
Okay.
ultimate it's like having a Star Trek multi thing. Like, yeah, it's used for some stuff, but it can also just fucking deck you.
That's true. That's true. Okay, there's the gamekeeper who basically looks after the grounds and keeps all that in order. Keeps all the animals in good shape. There is the chief attendant of the witchcraft provisions, which is apparently mentioned. I don't know this is a person, but apparently they just keep the provisions of all like the potions and stuff. And they
Nice.
if they're like basically the quartermaster.
Surely
they
that's
go-
in book 2 when they're getting the
I have no
Polyjuice
clue.
potion. It'll be Snape.
But it's not Snape though. It's someone else.
Is
It's someone I didn't recognize them. I didn't recognize their name. That was the scary thing.
Random.
They're just so random.
Exactly.
It's like
There's the Quidditch referee and flight instructor, and there is the librarian.
Miss
So that's
Hooch. I love Miss Hooch.
Miss Hooch is great. There is a prefects for each house, so they basically they got to like be the kid representation, basically a normal prefect in any other normal school.
Normal school, private schools.
Yeah, there's the head boy and girl who are basically the head boy and girl, like they represent the students and stuff like that. Which aren't really the weird thing about the head boy and girl, they aren't really mentioned at all during the earlier years at Hogwarts. They don't mention who the head boy and girl are at all.
You get the prefects because the prefects lead the first years to the dorms and show them how to get there.
Yeah, but not the head boy and girl. What do they? They know. They don't. Usually, a head boy and girl gives like a speech or something. They don't. They don't at all. They don't even announce it. They're like, and this is the head boy and girl. No, they don't even fucking tell it.
These are the
Do we know
prefects
who
for.
they are in later years? Do we know who they are in later years?
I don't even know because we know that like I think James Potter was a head boy, but that's about it. And we know that like Bill Weasley was one. Bill Weasley was head boy.
Oh yeah, sure.
But yeah.
Man, Ron really sucks, doesn't he?
Well, to be fair, Ron did get prefect, but like, and Harry and Ron never finished their final year of school. They're both unqualified.
Doesn't Harry?
They're both
doesn't Harry like, go on
unqualified.
to be?
What?
Does Harry go on to
Yes,
be an
he
aura,
does.
or
Yes,
is that like? Yeah.
Actually, I think he becomes the head of the auras, technically. But anyway. Anyway, so anyone in staff. So anyone can be a staff at Hogwarts, pretty much. So you can have wizards, squibs, centaurs, and even ghosts. Could be staff at Hogwarts, which leads me into my next thing, because there's one teacher, the history of magic teacher is a fucking ghost, which is amazing.
That's so good.
You don't have to pay him anything, and he's still teaching. You never have to replace that job. He's a ghost.
I mean, doesn't he get fucking petrified at some point?
No, that's Nearly Headless.
Damn it.
Petrified. But yeah, because he can't die, so he got petrified.
Yeah.
You know, it'd suck though having a history teacher be a ghost. You wouldn't be able to talk to him ever because like you keep trying to send him an owl and he'd just ghost you all the time.
Moving right along. Fuck's sake. So ghosts. Basically, Hogwarts has many ghosts, including the house ghosts, as we talked about earlier. Additionally, they basically just float around and exist there. Additionally, there are Peeves, who is unique because he is a poltergeist, meaning he can interact with objects around him as a ghost. And there is house elves, who we talked about earlier. They basically cook, they make the food, and they clean the castle, and they're basically slaves or servants. Yeah.
Nice.
Not great.
But they want to do it.
Yeah. There are centaurs in the forest who basically they live there. They live in their forest is their home. They live in the Forbidden Forest. There is mer people who live in the lake. A lake of Hogwarts. They live in the bottom of the lake.
How big's the fucking lake?
Big. There's the giant squid. There's a giant squid there. It's also a loch, so it's really deep. So there also are many other animals and stuff that live around Hogwarts. So I have a little thing. So I have all the core subjects at Hogwarts. I'm going to do a flash fire because I wrote these pretty tired, so they're just like real short notes. So I'm going to do a flash fire through them at the end. Note any questions you have at the end because we'll go through them. But
We're going to say what our favorite subject is.
Astronomy, the magic of stars and planets moving. Charms, the teaching of charms, which is just an enchantment put on an object, basically. Defense against dark arts, defending you against dark spells and creatures and hexes and shit. Flying, herbology, plant. That's all I've written. History of magic. You're taught history by a ghost. It's cool. Potions. It's in the fucking name. Transfiguration. You change form. Change something to form. This could be animal to cup or people to shark. It doesn't make much sense because you can't do food, but you can also make animals. Doesn't make sense. And that's the core subjects. These are electives. Arithmancy, which is basically predicting the future with fucking numbers. I don't fucking know.
Nice.
Care of magical creatures. Looking after monsters and breeding and fucking them and maintaining them and treating them. Let's keep going. Divination. Looked into looking things in the future. Tell me the future. That's basically it. Muggle studies. Look into the daily life of Muggles because people don't know what the fuck Muggles are, so they just do that. Learning how wizards see Muggles. Ancient ruins. Basically, theoretical study of ancient magic. These are 6th and 7th year subjects if there's a demand enough. Advanced arithmancy studies. Math, but extreme math.
What?
Alchemy, the study of the 4 basic elements: fire, earth, air, water, basically. Ancient studies, which is ancient Egyptian magic spells. Apparition, teleportation. Um, extracurricular subjects: art, magic art. It's implied this is magic art because there's also Muggle art studies, ghoul studies. You learn about ghouls. Magical theory. Learn how magic works, I guess. There's also music and magic and Muggle music, so it implies that there's magical music. And exomancy, which is the study of using sticks to do the future, to provide the future. There are also clubs. This is the known clubs, right? There's the art club, there's astronomy club, there's a charms club, there's a dueling club, there's an ancient runes club, there's a gobstones club, which is like a sport. There's a magical creatures club, there's a potions club, there's a rat racing club, there's a slugs and bugs club, there's a withers collecting club, and there's a frog choir club.
Do you reckon that the potion club and the frogs and slugs club get along?
Probably not.
Where does my slug go? No idea.
Okay. So that's the classes and shit. What comment?
Alchemy's some good shit. I like the fact that it's just like, we have to learn about the classics because they sort of figured all this shit out, and now we're just sort of like picking it up. Alchemy's some good shit.
What do you think, Jude?
Yes.
Cool. Awesome. So, and then we get into the school grading, which I'll just cover briefly how they grade stuff because it's different every time. So, their normal homework is graded along a lot like Muggle schools in the UK, from what I've seen. There's also OWLs, ordinary wizarding levels, were basically standardized testing for fifth-year students to determine what courses a student continue with their studies in their final years of Hogwarts. And an ordinary wizarding level, or OWL, are subject-specific testing taken during Hogwarts student, which are in their fifth year, blah, blah, blah. Sorry. The exams are administered by the Wizarding Examinations Authority. The score made by a student or a particular OWL determines whether or not he or she is allowed to take them in subsequent years, and whether they might be successful in obtaining a particular job. So, basically, OWLs are basically the 5th level, and then the 7th level are NEWTs, or Nastily Exhausting Wizarding Test, which are optional levels of education for exceptional students, much like A levels for Muggle students. There's like apparently O levels are a thing in the UK and A levels are a thing in the UK. I don't know what they are, but I'm just going to assume they're like equivalents. To progress in the NEWT level, students had to receive high marks in their OWLs examinations. Otherwise, students would not be able to cope with the difficult subjects 5th year. So the nastily exhausting wizarding levels is basically for higher jobs, right? So normal jobs usually require OWLs, like whatever you want to be in the magic world, but like big jobs like being an aura or something like that, which is basically big magic police against the dark arts. They need outstanding and exceeds expectations in their NEWTs, which are really hard, basically, to get. And so the grading system goes, so it starts with T. T is the lowest mark you can get, and that is for troll.
Nice.
Fail with distinction, so you fail distinctively.
That's really good. I wish we had that.
more than 1 T, maybe a refusal to get to do any other NEWTs. Then there's D, which is dreadful. Fail may not receive our credit. P, which is poor. Fail, may have to repeat the subject. A, which is acceptable. That's a pass. But usually that doesn't let you do a NEWT level. E, which is exceeds expectations, which is a pass, and they should continue on to NEWT. O, which is outstanding, which is a good pass. You know,
Nice.
you did the highest mark you can get.
Nice.
Cool. And lastly, we'll just talk about Quidditch. Basically, Quidditch tryouts for the teams at the Hogwarts. Basically, the heads of houses pick the applicants, and the team they pass on to the team captains who choose tryouts. Basically, kind of like a normal team for sports, but it's more run by the Quidditch captain more than anything. Mm-hmm. So they're in their head houses. So it's a little bit subject to a little bit of a I don't like that person, I don't like that person. But yeah,
That's one of the most important things in sports is chemistry. You got to get along with your teammates.
Yeah. How would you know? Do you know sports?
I did many sports for a long time. I didn't like them.
Fair enough.
Didn't mean I did well in them.
First years are usually prohibited from joining a Quidditch team because they are usually inexperienced with brooms, forbidden to own them in the first place. Basically, they don't want to hurt themselves because a lot of kids don't know how to do brooms in the first place. However, exceptions to be made for both accounts. Harry Potter was noticeably an exception because he's a fucking Harry Potter, you know? Because he was allowed on the team in his first year, being the youngest Seeker in a century.
Malfoy as well.
He was only made in second year.
Was he second year? Oh, shit.
Second year.
Yeah.
Man, it's been a while since I've watched this.
Yeah. Okay, so basically that is Hogwarts. There's so much more to talk about. I could do a whole episode on just the actual castle itself. There is so much like structure and the room requirement, and there's different things in there. But anyway, Hogwarts. So basically, it's basically a normal private school, kind of public, but boarding school with weird fucking rules and customs, and with a student death rate of about 1,000 times higher.
only a little bit higher.
Do you have any questions or comments or statements? Would you pick what?
Did Harry ever pass his newts, or did they just go, you beat Voldemort, here you go, be an aura?
Yeah, basically.
Nice.
So Harry didn't do his last year, and they just let him. He technically didn't qualify to be an aura, but they
Did he
just let him
qualify
in
for his
anyway.
newts?
Yeah, he was gonna be doing them.
Okay.
But he didn't qualify. He didn't pass them at all. So the only person,
'Cause, like-
Hermione was the only one of the main three to go back to Hogwarts.
'Cause she's a
finish her
fucking
final
champ.
year. She finished her final year. Yeah.
What did Ron
Open
do?
an ice cream truck.
Yeah, well, it depends. It depends which you do. Because because J.K. Rowling's changed her mind over the years. They originally became an aura with Harry, and then also J.K. Rowling's also stated more recently. I think he helped his brother with a joke shop after Fred bit
Yeah,
brother.
true.
after Fred bit the dust.
As an explanation for the ice cream truck joke, the actor for Ron owns an ice cream truck in real life. It's very cool.
Yeah, he's very cool.
Can I just say, I really want to see a Rupert Grint and Daniel Radcliffe buddy cop movie of them both being auras. Do you
That would be
imagine?
fucking amazing! Holy
So
shit!
good. Like 20 years on, it's just like a fucking
Buddy
buddy
cop.
cop of them in a small
But
town.
the problem with the
of
buddy cop is
upper
they're supposed to be
north.
very different and they don't like each other.
I also
Yeah,
like
I
that
like
idea
it,
because it
but
could be like
still.
a Hot Fuzz kind of thing where it's like a quiet small town,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
full of wizards.
I was literally about to say Hot Fuzz.
I could tell where you were going with it.
Yeah.
So, okay. I'll leave you with one last thing. If you have no other questions or anything.
Nope.
Did you know that in the first book and in the first movie, Harry does not cast a single spell?
What? Does
Yeah. Harry cast 0 spells in the first book and the first movie.
Doesn't he do-
in the
it? Wingardium
the
Leviosa?
He attempts it. He never gets it.
What?
So he attempts to cast it, but he never actually casts
Does
it.
the glass count as a spell?
No.
Fuck. What?
Harry in the first book and the first movie never cast a single spell in the entire thing.
Fair enough.
Fuck, dude.
Hermione and Ron do
He's
all
the
casting
greatest
for
wizard
him.
of our age.
That's why the funniest line in where the Hermione goes in the first movie. You're a great wizard, Harry. And like,
How the fuck would you know?
Yeah, he's never cast a single spell in the entire thing.
Fuck me.
Well, he picked up a wand and it did some goofy stuff.
That's not casting spells.
Yeah, I know.
So funny. Fuck yeah.
That's very...
So really, per the first book, the only thing special about Harry is that he's a really good seeker.
Yeah, and he's fucking, his parents were, he's an orphan. Oh, cool, fucking, yeah, you're so cool.
I mean, also,
He's a celebrity kid who's really good
I
at
hadn't
Quidditch.
realized this as well, but 7 galleons is $175 according to what the fuck I just saw
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
He literally has a mountain of gold
Yeah.
in his vault in Gringotts.
Yeah.
How much fucking money is he?
Harry's really fucking rich. Like, Harry's...
How did his parents
Harry's
get so
millionaires.
rich? That's my question.
Inheritance. His parents' families are really rich. His dad's...
How the fuck
his
did
dad-
they get rich originally? Was it stocks?
So his dad's is really old, right? So, and originally, you know that stuff that this is actually a thing they kind of explain. They really it's more like a fan theory. Like, you know the Skele-Grow stuff that makes his bones grow back
Yeah.
in the second book. One of his it's canon that one of his relatives made that.
Oh, cool.
Like, invented that stuff. So like he's got old money. He's got old
Right.
money.
So he's got like patent money.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's got old money. Additionally, like there's like times in the book where Harry's like, I could pay for all the Weasleys' shit.
But I'm not going
Yeah.
to.
He also feels bad. They wouldn't.
Doesn't he offer
Yeah,
to a
he
bunch
does-
of
they
times,
won't take
but
his
Molly
money.
always
They won't
says-
take it.
Yeah,
Fucking
yeah.
cowards. Take
Yeah.
Harry's money. He has too much of it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I suppose maybe deep down Molly was like, he thinks I'm being kind, but little do they know that it's my plan to marry my daughter to him.
Little do they know that it's cursed pirate gold. If you take it, you become a skeleton. Like me! Get out of here.
Floppy.
Harry has never seen on a moonlight. He's a skeleton. He can't. That's why he didn't die by the curse. He was already dead. He was already dead.
God, doubloons! Fuck. Maybe that's it. Maybe his old money is actually pirate money.
It's pirate money. Harry Potter and Pirates of the Caribbean.
And
And the
Black
curse
Pearl.
of the black.
Harry
And the
Potter.
curse of the black galleon. Let's
Harry
go.
curse and the curse that there's no black kids in Hogwarts.
Alrighty, let's go. We're done. Good night.
Thank you all for watching. Check us out on Twitter and Facebook.
Watching. We are watching.
Thank you for watching.
They're
You
not
watch.
watching
Hey,
you.
if you're here, you're watching our space.
Are they not watching you? They look at they're outside my window right now with binoculars. They're not watching you.
Yeah, because we've sent Matt's address multiple times. From
Bots are always
Yeah.
watching me and fucking emailing me.
Yeah. So,
Facebook,
yeah,
Twitter, at Living
check
by
us
the
out.
Law. livingbythelaw@gmail.com is our email.
email us, message us on Facebook, go on, like our Facebook, like our Twitter. Just if you want to know what's going down in us, and we're now kind of posting memes, sort of. So if you want like a hint for the next episode, you want kind of a thing, let us know because we're happy to provide and keep updated.
Yes.
The more you support us, the more we can support you. You know.
With good law.
Yes.
Rate us.
Yeah,
Rate,
exactly.
Fuck. Come here. Come here. Rate us on iTunes. Rate us on fucking iTunes. Come here.
This is literally the most help.
Yeah.
If there's anything you want to do, like us on follow us on Twitter, like us on. But the most you can do to help, write us a review on iTunes or just like us 5 stars. You don't have time. But like that helps so much, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you all for listening, and have a lovely night.
Make sure
Morning.
you're living by the law.
Good night.
Oh, Matt, you ruined it.
Bye.
Good night.
Evening.
Good afternoon.
Morning.
Good day. Toodaloo.
Do you think that you'd enjoy the Gobstones Club?
Fuck no. What the fuck? Am I eating rocks?
No, you're like marbles. Like marbles. You're like fighting in marbles.
Fighting marbles?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna eat rocks.
You do that. You do that, Hufflepuff. You do that.
Thank you for listening to Living by the Law. If you enjoyed our podcast, please leave us a review on iTunes and tell your friends. The link is in the description, and thank you in advance. Also, follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Living by the Law to keep updated on all the latest about our podcast. We have been, and always will be, living by the law. Thank you for your company, and good night.